On day 1, I spawned in as a little mouse. Ooh, look how cute and tiny I am. But uh-oh, I only have 1 heart. I've got to be careful. That's when I noticed that my hunger bar was half the size of a normal one too. Uh-oh, I guess I have a tiny stomach. I better hurry and start getting some supplies. Right away, I started punching trees so that I could get some wood. Using the wood I had collected, I put together a crafting table, then used that to make a wooden pickaxe, shovel, axe, and sword. I packed up my crafting table, then started to look for some food. That's when my hunger bar started dropping. I had to hurry. I soon saw a patch of berries. Oh, thank goodness, this is just what I was looking for. Suddenly, I heard a growl, and a giant grizzly bear came walking over. Oh, he's going to eat me. I gotta run. I ran and ran through the forest until I felt like I had gotten away. This forest was a dangerous place. Just then, I heard some squeaking up ahead. I soon saw a little mice family. Oh, hey guys, you're just like me. Is it okay if we stick together?
A new friend. Yeah, absolutely. Everything is easier when you stick together. My name is Remy.
Remy introduced me to the rest of his family. It was nice to have a group of friendly faces. He told me that they had a nice cave to live in, too. We headed over to the cave when suddenly a fox popped out and started to attack us. Oh no, I have to help my new family. Together, we did everything we could to fight off the fox. Luckily for me, our combined power was strong, and we took the fox down. Yeah, you won't be messing with us again. We then all went into the cave. It was small but cozy, the perfect place to settle for the night. I just hoped that tomorrow I could find some more food. Otherwise, I'm in big trouble. On day 2, I headed into the cave to get some coal. I was able to quickly find some and mined it out. I also grabbed some stone. Time for this mouse to get an upgrade. I put down my crafting table and used it to put together some stone tools. I also made some torches. I headed over to our cave and set up the torches. This should help keep the mobs away. My hunger was starting to drop again, so I decided to go out and look for some more food. As I ran through the forest, I could see something on the ground, but as I got closer, I could see it was just a flower. Man, where is all the food? I didn't have too much time to think about it though, as the grizzly bear from before showed up again. Oh, this guy again? I can't risk it with 1 heart. I had stone tools, but there was no way I could take him on. I soon arrived back at the cave to talk to my mouse friends. Have you guys been able to find any food? Everywhere I look is either empty or has a hungry bear.
You're not alone. We can't find anything either, but that's because of the humans.
The humans? What do you mean?
There's been a lot of humans coming through here, and they've been taking all of the food. It's been hard for us to find anything.
I felt really bad for them, and they agreed to try and go look for food. I wanted to do something to make them happy, so I went outside and gathered up some of the materials. Using everything I had collected, I started to fix up the cave. We might not have any food, but at least we could have some beds to sleep in. It's the best I could do, but I just wanted to say thank you for letting me stay here. I'm really starting to feel like I'm part of your family. On day 3, I woke up to a loud noise. There was a human in our cave! He had put my mouse family into bags, and I was next. Let them go! I had tried to hit him, but he nearly took me out. I had no choice but to run.
You can run, but I'm gonna find you eventually.
I kept running until the human was far behind me. What was I going to do now? How could this happen to my family? That guy was huge. But one day, I'm gonna be big and strong too. Mark my words. I'm gonna save my family from the humans. On days 4 to 5, I set off to find myself a new place to live. If I was going to get big and strong, I needed a safe place to sleep at night and store my gear. I soon found myself a nice cliffside and dug into the side of it. I wanted something cozy like the last cave, but I was gonna make it a little nicer. Time to get some building supplies. I headed out into the forest and gathered wood, as well as all the other materials I was going to need. This was going to be a classy rat's nest. I then got to work building all of the rooms. I decided to build something even bigger than what I needed, including rooms for other mice. I was determined to save my mouse family, and they were going to need a room when they came to live with me. Soon, the base was completed, and I decided to get some rest. In the middle of the night, I heard some noise outside. Uh-oh, I forgot to put out torches. I gotta take care of these zombies. I got right to work fighting off the zombies, but I had to be careful because I still only had 1 heart. Luckily for me, I was able to survive and took them all out. I better get those torches up quick. The next day, I headed outside to take a look around the area. What is that over there? I went down into the forest and soon came upon a small, half-built structure. Inside was another mouse. Hey, you're just like me.
Am I? Cause I'm looking real buff while you're just a skinny little guy. I'm not a mouse, I'm a vole. What are you doing out here?
My family was kidnapped by the humans, and I'm going to rescue them, but I'm worried about getting food first.
Boy, are you right about that. How am I supposed to keep to my all-protein diet with those humans taking all the food? They also got my family too. I think they're keeping them as pets.
Oh, these humans are ruining everything. Let's team up and take them down. Yeah, let's do it. 2 more voles had popped up from nearby. Whoa, where did you guys come from? I thought you were the only one.
Oh yeah, these are my brothers. They're around.
What's up, little guy? You look like you could use a protein shake. Thanks. Well, the more the merrier, I suppose. Come on, you guys should live at my base with me. Tomorrow we can figure out the food. The voles agreed, and we headed out. On days 6 to 8, I was wandering through the forest when I finally came across a berry bush, but it was empty. That's when I saw a raccoon taking off the last few berries. Oh hey, would you mind sparing a few berries? I haven't eaten in days.
Heh, that's just how it works out here, bud. Do I have enough to spare? Yeah, I do, but I guess I'm just a jerk. Sorry, not sorry.
I couldn't believe this guy. Well, you're right about one thing. You are a jerk. I had had enough. It was time to start fighting back. Give me those berries. I jumped into action and started fighting the raccoon. I caught him off guard. He didn't expect a little mouse like me to be this this strong, I managed to beat him in no time. As he disappeared, he dropped a bunch of berries. Finally, some food. I took a bite of the berries when I suddenly felt my strength begin to grow, and I leveled up. I had gotten even stronger, and now I have 4 hearts. Awesome. With my belly more full than before, I decided to head into a cave. Lucky for me, I found a whole bunch of iron. By using my pickaxe, I managed to mine a whole bunch of iron, enough to make myself all kinds of iron equipment. As I headed back toward the base, I also came across some sugarcane. Even more food. Today is just my lucky day. I managed to collect a decent amount of sugarcane when suddenly the grizzly bear appeared again. I'm not running away this time. I jumped into action, but it was a mistake. This bear was just way too strong. Okay, looks like I'm running away this time. Today was just not the day to beat a bear, but hey, at least I got some food. Back at the base, I started planting the sugarcane. If I could get some more ingredients, I'd have myself a nice food source. I can also use it to make books. I was hoping to build a library in the base. Once the sugarcane was all planted, I went back to my base and started smelting the iron ore I'd collected. With the iron ingots, I made myself a full set of iron armor, then made all of the tools I would need as well. I'm feeling much better already. I then decided to upgrade the base by adding in a library. I felt like the voles might like it. I just wanted to make sure they were comfortable and happy to be here. Hey guys, come check out the new library. The voles headed upstairs to take a look around.
Reading is for nerds, but even I gotta admit, this is a pretty nice looking place. Good going, Pipsqueak.
On days 9 to 10, I woke up to the voles coming into my room.
Bro, we're starving. We gotta do something about this food situation.
Good morning. I agree, but I feel like I've run out of places to look.
There is this one place, but only someone small and sneaky could go there, like you.
I could give it a go. Where is it?
There's a human farm near here, just full of stuff. If you can get in there and steal some of their food, we could start our own farm.
That sounds a little risky, but at this point, I'm not sure what choice I have. I'll do it. The voles told me where I needed to go, then I went and waited outside for nighttime. Once it was good and dark, I snuck down and soon saw the farm. These humans have so much food. Why are they taking everything from the forest? I quickly gathered as much food as I could. We were finally going to have a reliable food source. Once I had grabbed a good amount of food, I noticed a chest nearby. Inside was a box of hats. I wonder what this is all about. Just then, I heard a bark, and a dog came running over to me. Hey, why are you barking at me? Don't you know the humans are taking everyone's food? The dog stopped barking.
They're taking everyone's food? He's my best friend, but that doesn't seem like a very nice thing to do.
Suddenly, I heard a shout, and the farmer came running out.
Hey you, get on out of here.
I had no choice but to run away. Those humans were dangerous, and I would never rescue my family if they captured me too. After a bit of running, I made it back to my base. I threw some potatoes into the furnace and started making some beetroot soup. I also baked some bread. With all kinds of good food in my pockets, I headed over to the voles' room. I'm back, and look what I've got. I started tossing the food out, much to the voles' delight. We'd never have to be hungry again. After everyone had eaten, I showed them the hat box too. Everyone picked out their favorite hats and put them on. We were all pretty excited about it. The next day, I went outside and started working on a farm. Once it was all set up, I tilled the land and planted all the different plants. Finally, I could focus on my main mission of rescuing my family. On days 11 to 12, I woke up to the voles coming into my room again, but this time they weren't complaining. They were excited because they had something to show me. Apparently, it was a fancy statue. I went outside to take a look.
So, what do you think? We all worked really hard on it. It's a mouse, just like you.
Wow, guys, that is really nice. Thanks for making this for me. You know what could be really fun?
What's that?
Why don't we make one together? There's more than one of us here, so I think it just makes sense for there to be more than one statue.
Yeah, that sounds dope. But we don't really want to build another one, so you can make it. We can't wait to see it.
First off, I decided to go out and start collecting all the flowers I would need to make dye. I was going to find some sheep later, so I ran around getting everything I would need. Once I had gotten all the flowers I needed, I snuck back to the human's farm. I snuck upstairs and managed to grab some shears out of the chest. Then I went over to the sheep and dyed them all the different colors I would need. I had just collected a decent amount of wool when the farmer and dog came running out. Uh-oh, here they come again. I've got a bolt. The farmer shouted and the dog barked, but I was able to get out of there just in time. Back at the base, I got to work building the first part of the statue. It meant a lot to me that the voles had made me a statue, so I thought it'd be nice to make something too. I still needed some more supplies, so I stopped at the first part. On days 13 to 15, I was out exploring the woods when I came across a beehive. Oh, we could use some honey. This will be very helpful. I gathered it up and then saw another one, so I gathered the honey from there too. That's when I noticed a small house on top of the hill. A house that small must be for a mouse. I ran up the hill to find out. The door opened, and inside was a feeble old mouse.
Why, hello, dear. What brings you out to these parts?
Hi, I'm out gathering some supplies for my friends. I've got to search pretty far for special items since the humans are taking all of our resources.
Ah, those pesky humans. They're just the worst. It's high time the Mouse of Myth comes along.
The Mouse of Myth? Who's that?
Ah, have you not heard the story? Legend says that when the humans begin to ruin the Mouselands, a brave and mighty mouse will rise up, growing to be even bigger and stronger than the humans. That mouse will save all mousekind.
Really? Wow, that actually sounds a lot like the situation I'm going through right now.
Perhaps you are the Mouse of Myth then. Ever experienced sudden bursts of strength?
Once, but I think that was because I hadn't eaten in a few days. The Mouse of Myth sounds way stronger than me.
Well, the Mouse of Myth will be confident in himself, so perhaps it's not you after all.
Oh yeah, maybe not. We chatted a while longer, but all I could think about was the Mouse of Myth. I hoped that could be me, but maybe she was right. I didn't feel confident in it at all. I soon left to go back to my base. On days 16 to 19, I woke up to the voles coming into my room again.
Yo, Zozo, you've been proven to be pretty tough after all, so we had a favor to ask.
What's going on?
Some of our buddies got themselves into a bit of a situation, and we were hoping you could bail them out.
I'll see what I can do. Show me the way. I followed the voles out of the base and out across the land. They had soon led me into a dense jungle where we came across some squirrels stuck in a tree. There was a Tasmanian devil down at the bottom, and he wasn't letting them down. Out of the way, mister. I charged at the Tasmanian devil, and we started to fight. Why won't you leave those poor squirrels alone? The voles cheered me on as we continued to fight. This little guy was intense, but I was quick and took him out in no time.
Bro, nice one.
The vole called up to his squirrel friends to let them know it was safe, and they came down to chat.
Yo, that was sick! We thought we were never gonna get out of that tree.
No worries, guys. I'm just glad we could help. Say, if you want, you should come live at our base with us. There's a lot of dangerous creatures out here.
Gnarly, bruh. We'd love to live there with you guys.
Just then, I felt strength coming to me, and I grew in size, and I've gained even more hearts than before.
Dude, nice gains. I didn't know a mouse could beef up like that.
Soon we all left and headed back to the base. I had grown in size again. Maybe I could be the Mouse of Myth. I'd have to figure that out another day. Back at the base, I got right to work building the squirrels a place to live. I started with some steps and a ladder, then got to work making them a treehouse. I figured they would be happiest living in a tree, so I made it the best I could. Then I filled the inside with all the comforts they could need. Soon, I was done. I really hope they like it here. On days 20 to 22, I got woken up again, but this time, it wasn't by the voles. What is that sound? I ran outside and saw the base was surrounded by zombies. But where had all of the torches gone? I couldn't worry about that now though. I had some zombies to take care of. I ran down the hill and quickly attacked them. They weren't super tough, so I was able to defeat them quickly. Alright, I gotta figure out what happened. But just then, another group of zombies came over the hill. More of them? Oh brother. I started swinging my sword and was able to take a few more of them out. But how many more were there going to be? I don't know if I can fight them off forever. It was close, but I managed to finish them off. Okay, enough of that. I better get more torches. But then, even more zombies came over the hill, and this time, they were covered in iron armor. What is going on? I kept swinging my sword and was getting hits in, but these guys were way tougher with their armor. It was starting to look a little close, but I finally fought them all off. Oh, I can't fight anymore. Hopefully that's it. But it wasn't it. More iron-wearing zombies came over the hill, and this time, they had skeletons with them. Uh-oh, I don't think I can survive this. I started to fight them off, but it was too hard. I ran under the statue for cover, but I was surrounded. Just then, the voles came charging out of the base and attacked the zombies.
Hang on, Zozo. We're here to help.
With our combined power, we were able to start fighting back and start taking out the bad guys. Even the squirrels got into the fight. At long last, the zombies were finally defeated. This time, no more zombies or skeletons came over the hill. Soon, we were back in the base. Thanks, guys. I thought I was a goner.
We thought we ought to help you out for once.
I'm sure glad you did. We've got to figure out what happened to our torches, though. Otherwise, we'll be in big trouble.
Oh, right. We might know something about that.
The voles explained that they had taken all of the torches and put them in the library. Apparently, it was too dark for them to see what they were reading.
It turns out, reading is actually pretty dope, but we didn't think about the zombies. My bad, homie.
I told them it was okay and got to work setting up some new torches outside. We'll have to try and make even better defenses tomorrow. On days 23 to 26, I left my base to go and gather some more supplies. Our base had nearly been taken over last night, and we needed some serious upgrades. First, I dug up a bunch of clay. I was going to make bricks, so I needed to grab as much clay as I could. I then brought it back to my base, where I began smelting it into bricks. Before I started working on the wall, though, I decided to build a nice walkway down to the farm. It was going to be much better than having to get wet every time we needed to get a bite to eat. With the new bridge complete, I then got to work on the new walls. There were some natural mountains around the entrance to our base, but I thought it'd be smart to plug up the gaps with some walls. After all, a wall is no good if someone can just walk right through it. Once the walls are finished, my next project was building a guard tower. If we had something nice and tall, we'd be able to keep a close eye out for any more zombies, or even worse, humans. It took a bit, but the tower was soon complete too. As I was admiring the build from the courtyard, one of the squirrels came outside to meet me.
Hey man, nice building. You're really good at this.
Thanks. I just want us to be as safe as possible.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, I'm actually a pretty good cook. If you wouldn't mind building me a kitchen, I'd be happy to make food for everyone.
Oh, that's a great idea. Before I started on the kitchen though, I first grabbed some food from the farm. There was no point in building a kitchen if there's no food to store in it. With all the food in my pockets, I headed inside and got to work on the kitchen. I made sure to set up everything he needed and filled the pantry with all of the food. I couldn't wait to see what he'd made. make. Later that night, I was up in the tower to see how well our defenses worked. I could see a big group of zombies outside of the gate, but they had no chance of getting in. I'd call that a success. Now I just had to hope nothing bigger would stop by. On days 27 to 31, I was keeping watch from the tower when the bear from earlier showed up. This guy again? I'm so sick of him always trying to ruin my day. I ran down and headed outside the gate. You've tried to take my food too many times. I'm not letting you in here. The bear just laughed and let out a roar. He wasn't much of the talking type, but he was still a jerk. Just then, he charged. The bear was still really strong, but this time, I wasn't going to run away or back down. I was stronger, and he was going to have the fight of his life. With my sword in hand, I swung as hard as I could, knocking him back. He let out a roar, but it was too late. I hit him with the final blow, and he was defeated.
Well, aren't you just the toughest little mouse I've ever seen?
I looked up at a nearby tree and saw a crane looking down at me. Oh man, you have no idea. That bear has been trying to finish me off for days. I just couldn't let him win.
Well, it's not every day you see a mouse beating a bear. Have you ever considered joining a fighting league? All of the toughest animals around are in ours, and you'd be perfect.
Oh, I appreciate the offer, but I can't. I'm on a quest to save my family, not become the ultimate mouse champion.
Ah, but you don't understand. This will help you. By showing your bravery, you can inspire the crowd who want to help in your cause. Not to mention, you can earn some serious money by winning fights. Money that could help you.
Okay. I guess there's no harm in checking it out. Where do I need to go? The crane told me where to go, and I said I would head over there after preparing a little bit. He thanked me and took off. Later that day, I was deep in a cave looking for resources. If I was going to win any fights, I needed the best gear I could get. That's when I noticed there were tons of diamonds in this cave. I mined out as many as I could. This was just what I needed. With my pockets overflowing with diamonds, I headed out of the cave. Back at the base, I got right to crafting, making myself a full set of diamond armor, a helmet, boots, leggings, and a chest plate. I then used them to make a pickaxe, shovel, axe, and sword. There's no way I'm gonna lose any fights now. On days 32 to 35, I made my way to the location the crane had told me about. Standing outside the entrance was the crane.
Good evening, sir. I'm so thrilled you could make it. You've got quite the challenger tonight, but I think you will do splendidly.
Okay, I'm all ready to fight, so bring it on. The crane motioned for me to enter, and I headed in. The arena was brightly lit, or at least the fighting area was. I could hear a crowd in the darkness though, so I knew the place was packed. As I stood in the arena, I saw a gate open at the other end. It looked like my challenger was a Shiba Inu. I could take this guy. A bell rang and the fight was on. The Shiba was tough, but so was I. As we fought, the crowd cheered. As we both landed blows, they oohed and awed. They seemed like they were really into it. If I can win this fight, all the animals watching will be able to help me rescue my family. I've got to win. The Shiba Inu put up a good fight, but with my new weapons and armor, there was really no contest. I soon defeated him, and the crowd went wild. As they cheered, a bunch of emeralds started dropping into the arena, as well as XP points. I'm not sure what I'm going to do with these emeralds, but I'm sure I can figure something out. This is awesome. Just then, a bunch of lapis and obsidian dropped in as well. Excited, I ran around picking up my rewards as the crowd continued to cheer. I gave one final wave to the crowd, then headed back down and out of the arena to meet with the crane.
Congratulations. I just knew you could win.
Thanks, that was actually a lot of fun. I think all the animals were really excited for me too.
Oh yes, the crowd loved you. Please, feel free to come back soon. I'm sure the crowd was very inspired by you.
I thanked the crane for inviting me and ran back toward my base. I made a stop by the sheep farm first though and grabbed a bunch of dyed wool. I was going to need this for the statue. Back at the base, I took the wool I'd collected and got to work on the next part. I kept going until I ran out of wool again. I couldn't wait to see what it would look like when I was done. On days 36 to 39, I was exploring a nearby acacia forest when I saw something strange in the distance. Is that a mouse? She's really beating that wolf up. The mouse soon defeated the wolf, and I hurried over to talk to her. Whoa, nice moves! That was super impressive.
Thanks. I thought I was the only big strong mouse out here, but I see I'm not the only one. My name is Bella.
My name's Zozo. There's actually a whole group of us living just back over the mountains. You should come live at our base with us.
Are you sure? I don't want to intrude.
Oh no, it would be great. We could train together and everything. I feel like I could learn a lot from you.
Well, alright. Show me the way.
We headed off back in the direction of the base. Once we arrived, I got right to work making her room. It was going to be awesome having such a tough mouse around. Soon, her room was complete. On days 40 to 43, I met Bella in the kitchen.
Hey Zozo, I'm going to go out and train. Do you want to come with?
That would be awesome. You can teach me all of your moves.
Right on. Just give me a second.
Bella went over to the crafting table and made herself a new purple hat. It was really cool. She was then ready to go, so we headed out. Back in the acacia forest, I watched as Bella took on a whole pack of wolves. I couldn't believe she wasn't even scared. The wolves were fighting their hardest, but Bella wasn't even breaking a sweat. Soon, she had defeated all of the wolves.
Zozo, why don't you hop in on this next one?
Another pack of wolves charged at us, and I hopped in.
I've got a tip for you. Instead of just hitting, jump into the air and hit them as you're coming down. You'll do even more damage than normal.
I gave it a try and she was right. I tried it on as many wolves as I could, and together we defeated them all, no problem. Later we were taking a break when I had a question to ask her. So, how come you train so hard? What makes you want to fight so much?
That's a good question. I wasn't always like this, but one day I met an old mouse woman in the middle of nowhere. She told me this story about a mouse who could grow in size and was really strong. I had been fighting mobs just before then and had grown in size a little myself. That was when I realized I had to be the one in the legend. I had to be the mouse of myth.
Really? I think I met the same mouse. I heard the exact same story. I couldn't believe that I might be the mouse of myth though.
Well, that makes sense though, because you're not. I knew without a doubt the legend was about me, and so I've dedicated myself to training in order to fulfill my destiny. You really thought you were the mouse of myth? That's cute. Come on, I'll race you back to the base.
Bella took off, but I couldn't help feeling a little disappointed. I mean, she was really talented, so it did make sense, but I was really starting to believe I might be the mouse of myth. We'd just have to see how everything played out. On days 44 to 49, I decided to get some more work done on the statue. I had collected a decent amount of materials for my last raid, so I got quite a bit done. I was even able to do the tail, which I thought turned out pretty good. I was taking a moment to look at how things had gone so far when the voles came running out.
Zozo, come quick! There's a human at the gate, and he's asking for you.
A human? You guys keep an eye out from above. This could mean trouble. I ran over to the gates, and sure enough, there was a human on the other side. But this human was dressed like a mailman. What do you want, human?
Don't you worry, little rat. I'm not here to cause you any trouble, yet. I'm here with a message from all of us humans.
What could you thugs have to say to me?
We wrote it all down, but watch out. We know about your little base out here. We've seen you and your friends training too. We could destroy all of you if we wanted to, but we'll let it slide on one condition.
Yeah? And what's that?
Stop messing with our farms and stealing from us. Otherwise, you and all your little rodents can say goodbye.
Okay, I'll agree to that on one condition. You let my mouse family and all other animals go.
They didn't tell me you had a sense of humor, but seriously, knock it off or we'll knock you out.
The human turned and walked off. Who do these humans think they are? It's time to teach them a real lesson. On days 50 to 53, Bella and I snuck up to the sheep farm I had been visiting, but this time I saw they had built a huge wall around it. Looks like we inspired them to up their security, but I think I know how to beat that. Bella pulled out her shovel.
Shovel?
Shovel. Bella and I got right to work building a tunnel. I had been here enough times to know just where I needed to go to pop out under the sheep pen. We tunneled our way through and popped up right underneath them.
Holy sheep, where did you two come from?
Whoa, I didn't know you guys could talk. Sorry for dyeing you different colors and stealing your wool.
Are you serious? You're the only one who has been cutting our wool, and it's hot out here. You're doing us a favor.
Oh, well that's great to hear. You guys wouldn't happen to want to live at my base, would you?
We thought you'd never ask. The humans are the worst.
We all jumped into the tunnel and ran back out from under the wall. This was going to make the humans so mad. It was perfect. Back at the base, I got right to work building the sheep a nice farmhouse to live in. They didn't even have a roof over their heads before. This was going to be much better. Now we just needed to sit back and see how the humans would react. On days 54 to 57, I was down in the mines gathering some more materials. The humans would probably want to attack me at some point, so I needed to make some upgrades. Once I had collected everything I needed in the mines, I headed upstairs and went over to the crafting table. Using the obsidian I had gotten from the arena, I managed to put together an enchanting table. Time to really upgrade my gear. I went into the library and cleared out a space for the enchanting table. I surrounded the room with bookshelves and placed the table at the center of the room. Then I went through all of my gear and gave them different enchantments to make them stronger. I'm gonna be one tough mouse to beat now. I then went outside and got to work on the next part of the statue. This time it was all about the details, starting with a torch in its left hand. Then I got to work on a sword for the right hand. This was my favorite part of the build for sure. This statue is looking great. On days 58 to 62, I decided to make some more improvements to the base, starting with the bridge. I took down some of what I had done before, then began adding in some new railings and overhangs. As a final touch, I added in some hanging lanterns. Speaking of lanterns, I thought they looked quite a bit nicer than torches, so I went around the base and replaced all the torches with lanterns. I also added a doorbell. The least any invading human can do is ring the bell first. I then headed inside and cleared out a wall and added a window. Inside, I put some cushions and bookshelves to make a sitting room. The voles were really getting into their books, so I thought they'd enjoy the space. Later that evening, I was lounging in the sitting room with Bella.
I've just got to tell you, Zozo, you're a really great friend. To me, the voles, everyone you meet. And plus, this base looks amazing.
Thanks, Bella. That means a lot coming from you. On days 63 to 66, I heard someone ringing the doorbell and went out to take a look. Perched outside was the crane.
Good morning, sir. It would seem your next challenger is ready. He'll be even tougher than before, but the crowd has been begging to see you in action again. I think you really made an impression on them.
Okay, great. I'll be there. Later on, I was back at the arena. The gate opened and I stepped into the ring. The crowd was still in darkness, but they sounded excited to see me. Across the arena, I saw a honey badger had stepped in to face me. We squared off, and as soon as the bell was rung, we leapt into action. The crane was right. This honey badger was way stronger than my last fight, and his claws were really hurting. Sorry, but I've got a family to fight for. I thought about everything Bella had told me about and tried to put it into action. Once I started landing the more powerful blows, I could tell it was only a matter of time. Soon, the badger was defeated. The crowd went wild. I did it! Like before, emeralds started to drop from the ceiling, followed by some lapis, netherite ingots, and health potions. There was also a mythical potion, which said it could only be used by a mythical hero. Huh, I wonder what this is about. It's supposed to taste like bananas too. I bet a monkey of legend would be into this. Just then, I noticed there were two small honey badgers crying on the other side of one of the gates. Hey, that wasn't your dad, was it?
No, our real dad was taken away by humans long ago, but that badger you just fought had agreed to take us in. He just needed to win the fight to get the resources to take care of us.
Oh wow, I'm so sorry. I had no idea he was also fighting for her family.
It's okay, he knew the risks. We know that you're just trying to rescue your family from the humans too. We're just tired of them ruining all of our lives.
You know what? Why don't you two come live in my base with me? There's all kinds of animals there who would love to be your family.
Wow, that would be amazing.
The two little badgers followed me back to our base. They were excited to finally have a place to call home. I went ahead and dug out a room for them to stay too. Who knows how long these two little guys had been looking for a home. On days 67 to 70, I headed out of the base. Things were really starting to come along. Where is everyone? I walked out and saw the voles were outside harvesting some wheat, but Bella was out there giving them commands. What is she doing? I headed down to talk to her. Hey, what are you doing? Telling everyone what to do.
Oh hey Zozo, I figured that since I was the Mouse of Myth, I should probably be the one calling the shots around here.
I don't really know why you keep saying you're the Mouse of Myth. There's not really any proof. For all you know, it's me.
Oh yeah? Well, if you were the Mouse of Myth, you'd already have the Frost Slayer sword.
The what?
Yeah, see? You don't even know what it is. Part of the legend is that the Mouse of Myth is able to get it from the Great Northern Tundra.
Well, you don't have it either. In fact, I'm going to get it right now.
Oh yeah? Not if I get it first.
Bella and I took off for the Great Northern Tundra. I would show her. We soon arrived, and boy was it cold. We were both so worried about getting there first, we ran right into a pack of polar bears. Uh-oh, we both fought hard to stay alive, but it was clear we couldn't fight them off fighting on our own. We changed our strategy and saw that by working together, we were able to take them all out. Oh, Bella, what are we doing? We're going to get ourselves into some serious trouble if we don't work together.
You're right. We're being really hasty. How about this? We both work together to get the sword. Once we get there, we can just see who the sword chooses. It's not really up to us who the Mouse of Myth is, anyway.
Exactly. All right, let's go get that sword. On day 71 to 74, Bella and I continued deeper into the tundra. As we traveled through the ice spikes, we soon came across a dungeon. This must be the place. No matter what happens, we'll still be friends. Deal?
Deal.
Bella and I ran down the stairs and into the dungeon. It's full of water. How are we going to get through? Just then, we noticed some levers at the top of the stairs.
These must control the platforms down there. Here, you go down and I'll work these levers.
I ran down by the water as Bella started flipping switches. After hitting the first one, a platform came out of the wall. I jumped over to it. Bella continued hitting the switches and more platforms came out of the wall. I had some close calls jumping between them, but eventually I made it to the next passageway. Hang on a second, there's a lever in here. Let me hit it and see what it does. I flipped the switch and a shortcut opened up for Bella. She hopped down.
Nice hopping. Let's see what else is in here.
We kept going down the hallway when suddenly a bunch of poison snowballs came flying out of the wall, hitting us. Ouch, those really hurt. There was a small passageway, so we ducked through there to heal up.
Zozo, I have to be honest with you.
What is it?
I know I'm really confident all the time, but the truth is, I'm not sure if I'm actually the Mouse of Myth. The old mouse woman had just told me a story so specific, I felt like it had to be me.
Yeah, it was the same thing for me. But you know what we haven't considered yet?
What's that?
Maybe she was just making the whole thing up to trick mice like us to take on the humans.
You know what? You're probably right. As if we didn't have enough reason to want to fight them. I guess we'll find out soon enough anyway.
I agreed. That's when I noticed something odd about the box we were next to. Hey, is there something in this? We looked inside and saw there was a fancy new helmet inside. My diamond helmet was still in good shape, so I let Bella take it. We decided to keep pushing on and ran out into the snowballs. We took some hits, but made it through. We soon entered a big room that was full of bad guys. We sprang into action, fighting them off. Some of them cast magic spells that dropped explosive ice blocks on us. They were really tough, but nothing could break the power of our friendship. We quickly cleared the room. I think this might be the last room up ahead. Let's finish this together. On day 75 to 78, we stepped into a large room where a snow troll was standing in the center of the room. But look what he was standing in front of. The Frost Slayer, I can see it.
Let's get that troll out of our way.
Bella and I sprinted in, swinging our weapons as hard as we could. This guy was unbelievably strong. His blows did a lot of damage, and no matter how hard we hit him, it seemed like he wasn't even hurt. This guy is crazy. I don't know if we can beat him. Our health was dropping fast too. Maybe neither of us was the Mouse of Myth, and it was all going to end here. But just then, I had an idea. Bella, follow my lead. Hey, Dum-Dum, over here! We took off running, and he followed us over by one of the support pillars. He swung his stone column at me, but I jumped out of the way, causing him to hit the support pillar. There was a crack, and suddenly, the whole pillar fell over, smashing the troll.
Zozo, that was brilliant. Go on, you can grab the sword first.
I stepped up and took a hold of the sword. Suddenly, nothing happened. It was just a normal sword. There's nothing special about this sword. Here, I tossed the sword over to Bella, who picked it up.
You're right, this is just like holding any other sword. That legend must not be true. Otherwise, only one of us could have held this.
True, or maybe it's just about anyone. No one is born the Mouse of Myth. You become it by trying. Suddenly, there was a rumbling sound, and the roof started to cave in. Without the support column, we were all in danger. We ran as fast as we could and made it out of the room just in time. On days 79 to 84, we had made it back to the base and settled back in for the night. The next day, I had a lot of work to do. I started by doubling the size of our farm so everyone would have plenty to eat. Then I got busy putting in a path around it. This was going to be much easier to navigate. Then I went over and put together an archery range for the squirrels. They had been really helpful when the zombies had attacked, so I wanted to give them an even better training ground. Nice shooting, guys. If humans show up here, they aren't going to know what hit them. The Volts had also mentioned to me how they were reading all about gardening and wanted to try their hand at maintaining a garden. So I put in a small garden for them to manage as well.
Yeah, we better get the pruners out. These roses are already looking a little wild. And keep a close eye on those poppies. I'd hate to see them fall to the weeds.
With so many animals around, the outdoors were starting to get a little untidy, so I made a small storage shack for us to stash all of our odds and ends. Part of these improvements was also getting a better space for us to improve our weapons and armor, so I built a smithy area for us to do everything we needed to do. I thought it turned out pretty nice. With the new smithy, I took some time to fix up all of my diamond gear, as Bella fired up the blast furnace to make improvements to her equipment too. Then I headed inside to the smithing table, where I used all of the netherite I had won in the arena to upgrade my diamond gear to netherite. Then I brought the new gear over to the enchanting table, where I enchanted all of my netherite equipment. I'm going to be one unstoppable mouse now. And finally, our last project was upgrading our walls, which the Voles offered to help with. At this point, our humble little rat base was becoming a full-on castle. We gave the walls major upgrades and even built a large tower. On days 85 to 89, the Vole came running into my room with a warning.
Zozo, the humans are outside the walls. Come quickly.
I hurried and ran to the walls and could see a small army of humans were preparing to charge, but the squirrels were in position and ready to fire. Hold steady, guys. Here they come. The humans began to charge as the squirrels unleashed their arrows. Their training had paid off, and they were deadly shots. Several humans fell as they ran toward the base. It's working. The humans had lost many of their soldiers and started to run away. Yeah, nice job, everyone. They aren't tough at all. What I didn't realize was that this was just a decoy. A powerful warrior had scaled the mountain behind us and jumped into our base. What was that? I turned and saw a warrior standing in the courtyard. He said nothing as he stared up at me. Charge! I leapt into action, swinging my sword. But if there was anything I had learned, it was that friends are stronger together. Bella came running out of the base, followed by the Voles. The squirrels started shooting arrows down as well. Even with our combined power, though, it was quite the fight. Keep going, everyone. We can defeat this guy. The warrior was strong, and his armor was hard to crack. Eventually, we managed to knock him over the cliff as he landed in the water. We kept on him, and I swung my new Frostslayer sword with all my might. At long last, he was finally defeated. We did it. The humans will never take our land, and they certainly won't take our freedom. Suddenly, I felt strength coming into me, and I leveled up, gaining 8 more hearts. We will never be conquered. On days 90 to 94, I ran into Bella in the lobby, but she looked really sad. Bella, what's wrong? I thought you'd be excited after our successful fight.
I am excited about our win, but I'm just really down about this Mouse of Myth stuff. I mean, I dedicated my entire life believing I was fulfilling my destiny, but it's looking more like it was all a lie.
You know what? I think we should go talk to that old mouse woman. Even if it's all a lie, you can at least be at peace, knowing the truth. Bella agreed, and we headed out. We soon arrived back at the old woman's house. I told Bella to stay back while I knocked on the door. As the old woman came out, she was excited to see me.
Oh, look who it is. Could it be our very own Mouse of Myth?
Cut it, lady. We came here to find out the truth.
We?
Just then, Bella jumped up, which caught the old woman by surprise.
We? Why did you tell both of us the same legend? Is there a Mouse of Myth or not? Oh, no. Okay. The truth. The truth is that I made it all up.
Why would you do that? That lie nearly destroyed our friendship.
Oh, I'm sorry. I never would have wanted that. The humans have been messing with mice for decades, and no one ever seemed brave enough to stand up to them. I just thought if I made up a story, I might be able to inspire someone to actually do it. They took my family years ago, and I've always wanted revenge.
Well, I suppose there are worse things to lie about. We do want to teach them a lesson, and are actually strong enough to do something about it after all. Bella agreed, and we had a nice chat with the old woman about her family. She sounded lonely living out here, so I invited her to stay at the base with us. She agreed, but on one condition. We had to rebuild her house exactly the same. I took some time to take down her house so that we'd have all the right pieces. Then later, back at the base, I reconstructed it so it would be exactly how it was before. She was delighted to have a familiar but safe place to stay. On days 95 to 97, I walked out of the base to see the crane waiting for me.
Oh, good morning again, sir. I know you've got your hands full, but your next challenger is ready for you. The crowd has said that they wish to see you fight fight once more. I'm sure they will make it worth your while.
Well, one more round of upgrades before we fight the humans would be nice. Okay, I'll do it. The crane nodded before flying up and away. Later that day, I arrived back at the arena entrance, ready for my fight. I entered in and headed back into the arena. As the gate opened on the other side, I was shocked to see who it was. Bella, what are you doing here?
It's okay, Zozo. We don't have to fight to the death. I've been doing these fights too so that I can train. Come on, it'll be a fun training exercise. We can see who is actually the strongest.
Well, alright. I don't know if the crowd will like it, but obviously I don't want either of us to be eliminated.
Of course not. Bring it on.
Bella and I charged at each other. We weren't planning on taking each other out, but neither of us were holding back. The crowd was going absolutely crazy. Bella, is this too much? Maybe we should stop.
No, listen to them. They're loving it. We've got to give them a good show if we want them to still pay out at the end.
It didn't feel right to me, but we kept fighting on. Bella was such an amazing fighter, but she had taught me all of her moves. I landed a really hard hit, and Bella backed off.
Oh, okay. I think we need to stop there. Nice hit, Zozo.
Yeah, of course. You really had me on the ropes. Once the crowd realized what was happening, they started to boo. I could hear the crane's voice coming from the stands.
Zozo, what are you waiting for? Finish her off!
What? No, she's my friend.
Fine, but people came here expecting a finale, and I'm going to give it to them.
Just then, the crane dropped in from the darkness, finishing off Bella. What have you done? The animals watching are going to support me against you.
You mean these animals?
I looked at the balcony and saw that the crowd had stepped closer, revealing themselves to be humans. I couldn't believe the crane had been working for them this whole time. I could feel my blood beginning to boil, and in my rage, I grew into a large, ferocious rat. You're gonna pay for that! I charged at the crane, hitting him again and again, defeating him in no time. I could hear the humans laughing as one of them shouted for the guards. The gate opened and a bunch of human guards came running in. Get out of my way! The guards thought they could stop my rampage, but I was way too angry. I swung my sword with all my might and quickly took them all out. I could tell the humans watching were starting to get nervous. Don't think that you're getting away either. With my new strength, I jumped from the arena into the balcony and started to attack. They didn't realize who they were messing with. I managed to take several of them out as they tried to run away. Enough is enough. I've got to end this. I jumped back into the arena and ran out of the building. On day 98, I had made it back to my base, and my rage had turned to sadness. I couldn't believe Bella was gone. As I looked at the statue, I wanted to do something nice to remember her. Atop the mouse statue, I took some time to add the same hat that Bella had worn when we first met. She had always said it was one of her favorites. That night, I was looking at the statue when suddenly Bella appeared in front of me.
Zozo, thank you for dedicating this statue to me. I want you to know that everything is okay.
But it was never supposed to be like this. We were supposed to take down the humans together.
I know, but the truth is, I don't think you need me. I spent a lot of time thinking about the Mouse of Myth. The old woman may have made it up, but in doing so, she also made it come true. You have become the Mouse of Myth, and I'm so proud to have been your friend.
I shed a tear and thanked her for everything she had taught me. I felt like it was finally time to fulfill my destiny. It was time to save my family and the world. On day 99, I met with all of my friends in our base. Okay guys, it's time. If any of you want to stay behind, you can. No one will hold it against you. No one said a word. They were ready to fight. Very well, get geared up. We attack at nightfall. Before leaving, I ran over to the chest and grabbed the mythical potion, as well as the health potions I had gotten earlier. The team regrouped in the lobby, and we headed out for the humans' base. On my way out, I paused to look at the mouse statue. I could feel Bella was with us. We soon reached the gates to the humans' town, but how are we going to get in?
Don't worry, guys. I know just what to do.
The Vole slipped through a small hole in the side of the guard tower, popping out inside of the base. He ran over to the lever and flipped it, letting us all in. Nice going! Let's get him! We stormed into the base, running into a couple of humans. All together, we took them out with ease. Off in the distance, I could see the farmer. This time, he was geared up to fight.
There they are, Bosco. Take them out. Bosco?
Bosco attacked his owner, taking him out. Then he ran over to us.
You've had me thinking more than I have in my whole life. These humans have been so mean to other animals, and I can't be part of it. I'm here to help.
With Bosco now on our team, we charged into the streets. There were several humans geared up to fight, but they weren't ready for us. We all unleashed our attacks, knocking them out of our way. Keep going, guys, we're doing great! We kept fighting through the streets and soon came upon a mansion in the middle of town. This had to be where my family was being kept. We charged the doors and quickly took out the guards. But how are we going to get in?
Hang on, folks. I'll get us in there somehow.
The Vole started sniffing around and soon found another hole on the side of the building. He crawled through, dropping into a library maze.
Good thing I got into reading. I just have to follow the titles back to A, and then I'll be back at the front.
Using the authors as his guide, the Vole wove through the maze until he noticed a hole.
Nice, a shortcut.
He popped out and flipped the switch, letting us all inside. Just then, there was a sound in the town, and we could see the whole army was coming for us.
Quick, Zozo, go. We can hold them off.
Yeah, man, your family needs you.
You guys are the best. I will see you soon. I ran into the basement as the rest of my friends stayed back. As I entered the basement, I could see it was filled with animals, including my mouse family. Remy, it's me. We've got to get you guys out of here.
Zozo, I can't believe it. Look how big and strong you are.
Just then, I heard the gate slam and hurried back up the stairs.
Well, if it isn't the rat that got away. I should have captured you when I had the chance.
You are just the worst. No monologues. I jumped into action, swinging my sword. Where had all my friends gone? Did he hurt them? I didn't have too long to think about it though, as he was really starting to hurt me. My health was dropping, and so my only option was to run away and heal up.
What's wrong? Too afraid to fight?
I had just gotten my health restored when the human caught up to me.
I was going to keep you as a pet, but something like you is too powerful to be kept alive.
We kept fighting, but I was starting to lose hope. He was too strong. I hurried and ran up the stairs to the roof to heal some more, hiding around the corner.
Come out, little mousy. I just want to talk.
This human had been the cause of so many problems. He had destroyed and captured so many of my friends. He was going to pay. I took out the mythical potion. If I'm truly the mouse of myth, this will help me. I drank the potion down and felt a powerful surge of energy. I gained more hearts and felt even stronger than before. It had worked. It was time to end this.
What the? How can a little rat become so powerful? What is this?
This is what happens when you mess with a guy's friends, his family, his world. The human had backed up against the edge.
No, okay, surely we can work something out.
Nope, it's over. I lunged forward and knocked him off the roof, sending him falling to the ground below. He's gone, but where are my friends? On day 100, I heard a shout as all of my friends came running over the bridge. It turned out they had pushed the soldiers all the way back into the town and defeated them. I made my way back into the dungeon and finally released my family, along with all the other animals. We laughed and we cried. It had been too long. Back at the base, everyone celebrated. Even all the way from Mousy Heaven, I felt like I could hear Bella jumping for joy. Our fight was finally over. On day 1, I spawned in as a rabbit. Oh no, I only have 1 heart. I'm gonna have to be really careful if I'm gonna survive. But check it out, I can jump high and I'm super fast. I took a look around and I could see there were tons of other bunny friends around. But suddenly, they all ran away. Hey guys, what's going on? Just then, a fox appeared. That must be why the other bunnies ran away. I had to be careful. If that fox landed just 1 hit on me, I was done for. Luckily, I was able to run really fast and jump super high, so I was able to outrun the fox and get away. The best thing I can do today is just survive. I better find a good place to hide for the night. I took a look around until I found a good spot. I dug into the side of the hill and hunkered down for the night. Maybe I can find all of my bunny friends in the morning. On day 2, I woke up and went to go look for my bunny friends. As I arrived back at the spawn point, I didn't see anyone around. Where could everyone have run off to? I wasn't sure where to start looking for them, but I had an idea. Maybe if I can build a really cool bunny house, they'll come back. If I was gonna build a cool bunny house, I needed some tools, so I headed off into the forest to get some supplies. After a while, I had gathered enough supplies to be able to build my first tools. I put as many tools together as I could, including a sword. With my new tools in hand, I headed into the mine to get some stone. As I was mining, I was suddenly attacked by a spider. Whoa, get back! I had to be really careful. If I took even 1 hit, I was done for. It's a good thing I had made myself a sword though, because with that, I was able to defeat him. Oh man, that was too close. I better get to work. On day 3, I got to work starting to build my new base. Since rabbits live underground, I thought it'd be cool to build out a bunch of tunnels underground. It was a lot of hard work, but soon, the base was all set up. Alright, the base is done, but I don't see any more bunnies. I better go look for them. I headed off into the forest, but I could hear someone up ahead. On top of a tree, I could see a little squirrel. Hey, what's going on? What are you doing up there?
I'm up here hiding from the big bad wolf. You better watch out too.
The big bad wolf? Oh man, he sounds like a lot of trouble. How about we stick together? It'll be safer.
I think that's a great idea.
On days 4 to 5, the squirrel and I headed into the forest to get some more materials. As we explored the forest, we came across some more friends. The first animal we saw was a raccoon. Hey, have you heard of the big bad wolf?
Yeah, that guy's a real jerk, but he's been leaving me alone for the most part. I don't know if I want to get involved. Sorry.
Well, I hope you change your mind. The squirrel and I kept going through the forest until we came across a bear and her cubs. Uh-oh, I hope that bear won't eat us. I took a deep breath and walked up to the bear. Hey, do you know the big bad wolf?
Yeah, but why would I care about that guy? He doesn't bug me and I don't bug him. Say, you're looking a little tasty.
Okay, well, thanks for telling me about it. Talk to you later. Bye. The squirrel and I got out of there. I didn't want to risk anything else wanting to hunt me. As we got deeper into the forest, we started to chop down some trees.
Hey you!
I turned around and looked up into the tree. A monkey was looking down at me. Yeah, what's up?
That's my tree. What do you think you're doing, chopping down my tree?
The monkey was mad, but I only needed a little bit of wood. It didn't matter to him though, and he jumped down and charged.
You're gonna pay for this.
Uh-oh, if this monkey hit me, I was a goner. But just then, the squirrel jumped in and helped me out. Together, we were able to put up a good fight. The monkey wasn't gonna be able to hurt both of us. By working together, we were able to defeat him. Sorry, Mr. Monkey, I didn't want to fight you, but you left me with no choice. On day 6 through 8, the squirrel and I continued through the forest. We were feeling pretty good about ourselves. We had had a couple of victories, and we were getting a lot of supplies. We'd even met a few of the other animals. As I kept wandering through the forest, though, I heard something scary up ahead. As we got closer, we saw the source of the noise. It was the fox, and he had a group of bunnies cornered.
You have nowhere to run, and now I'm going to eat you.
Oh no, I can't let him eat those other bunnies. But what am I supposed to do? I can't take him on by myself. That's when I remembered I wasn't by myself. I had my squirrel friend with me. Let's do this! The squirrel just started to charge. He didn't even wait for me. Wait, what are you doing?
Oh, a little appetizer.
The fox took one swing, and the squirrel was immediately defeated. Oh no, my friend!
Looks like there's another snack over there for me too.
The fox took one look at me, but I had to get out of there. I'm not gonna be his dinner today. I'm sorry, other bunnies, but you're on your own for this one. I ran as fast as I could, straight back to my burrow. I couldn't risk having him find out where I lived, or worse, eating me. I was just gonna have to help those other bunnies out another day. I feel bad about leaving all those bunnies behind, but what was I gonna do? I'm just not strong enough. On days 9 to 11, I was feeling bad about running away, but I wasn't strong enough to fight. As I ran through the forest, I came across an abandoned village. Oh look, a ton of carrots. I gathered up as many carrots as I could. There was even a bunch of wheat and pumpkins too. I decided this would be a good place to spend the night. In the middle of the night, I woke up to a strange sound outside. Oh no, there's a bunch of skeletons out there. I ran out of the house with my sword in hand. There was no way I was going to back down this time. I charged out of the house, swinging my sword. I'm not scared of you. I kept swinging until one by one, all of the skeletons were destroyed. Man, these fights are terrifying when you only have one heart, but I feel better now that I've won a fight. Even though I had won the fight, I was too scared to go back to bed, so I decided to spend the night looking through the rest of the village. I found some more food, as well as some other supplies. I even found a whole stash of iron. Awesome, now I can start making some iron gear. I ran back over to the crafting table and put together an iron chest plate and equipped it. On day 12, I emerged from my house in the village and headed back into the forest. I was running through the woods when I saw a carrot on the ground up ahead. Oh, what luck, a free carrot. As I continued through the forest, I saw there were even more carrots. I decided to keep picking them up. I was going to need as many as I could get. Just then, I picked up one of the carrots and suddenly fell through a trapdoor. Whoa! I landed inside a small room and there were several other rabbits looking at me. Hi guys, what's going on?
You're not the big bad wolf.
I turned around and saw a large elderly bunny looking down at me. No sir, I'm not. What's going on around here?
I see you're new around here. Let me explain. For years, the forest was a beautiful and peaceful place. All the animals were happy, living in harmony. The wolf would try to hunt us, but we could always get away. Then one day, something changed. The wolf had discovered some kind of magic, which he used to give himself a cloaking ability. Suddenly, we could no longer hide because we didn't know when he would attack. We have been in hiding ever since.
No, how can we stop him?
There is an ancient relic known as the Rad Glasses, crafted by our bunny ancestors. Its pieces have been scattered across the land, but if you bring them to me, I can craft them anew. They will allow you to see the wolf, even when he cloaks. Do you think you can help us?
Not very strong, but I'll do my best. On days 13 to 15, I had arrived back at my base and made a couple improvements to the inside. Then I went outside and started working on a farm and planted some of the carrots I'd collected. It wasn't much, but it was a place to call home. I needed to get some sand though, so I headed off to the desert to gather some. I managed to get a bunch of it when suddenly a group of rattlesnakes came slithering up behind me. Hey guys, can I help you? The rattlesnakes just stared at me, then they attacked. Hey, that's not very nice. Luckily their bite wasn't too bad because I still only had a heart. I was able to keep moving and I took them all out. Suddenly I felt a burst of energy and I grew into a bigger killer bunny. And look, now I have 5 hearts. I'm feeling way better already. On day 16 to 19, I returned back to the base and made a few adjustments now that I had gotten a little bigger and stronger. Later, as I was harvesting some of my crops, I saw a squirrel walking up to the base.
Hey, I've been looking for you.
Hey there, what's up?
I saw you were with my sister when that fox attacked her. She seemed to trust you, so I want to help you too, for my sister.
I'll take all the help I can get, and I'm sorry for what happened. I'm much stronger now and won't be running away from anything. We then set off, making some more improvements to the base. It turned out the squirrel's name was Rocky, and he was happy to help. After we had finished upgrading parts of the base, he pulled me aside for a chat.
Thanks again for letting me help, Zozo. I had an idea for the base. I think we should build something that will make the other bunnies know that this is a safe place.
Oh, I know just what to make, but we're gonna need a lot of orange dye. We ran off into a flower field and got to work grabbing as many orange tulips as we could to make the dye. On days 20 to 22, we were heading back to our base when the fox popped out from around the corner.
Ah, the bunny that got away. I'm gonna get you this time.
You aren't hurting anyone this time. I jumped into battle and started swinging away at the fox. Rocky Rocky jumped into the fight too. With my new strength, the fox didn't stand a chance. We beat him easily. Nice going, Rocky. How did he find our base?
I don't know. The only thing I can think of is that he must have seen me and followed me here. Sorry about that.
That's okay, but it reminds me, we need to start looking for the parts to those special glasses. Do you have any ideas of where we could look?
I've got one idea, but before we get there, we're gonna need some serious upgrades first.
On days 23 to 26, I was deep underground looking for resources. Luckily for me, I was able to find a bunch of iron, as well as some coal. This is just what I needed. Now I can finish making my iron armor. I took some of the stone I had collected and used it to craft a furnace. Then I added the coal and iron to smelt myself some iron bars. Once the iron bars were complete, I used them to craft myself iron tools, including an iron sword. Then I used the rest to finish crafting my iron armor. Now I'm really powered up. I decided to keep exploring the cave when I suddenly ran into a group of zombies. Try and fight me now, you flesh heads. The zombies could pack a punch, but they were no match for my new gear. I swung my sword and was able to take them out. I kept going down the tunnel when a spider dropped down from the ceiling. Oh, gross, spiders are disgusting. As the spider charged at me, I swung my sword. He managed to get a couple bites in, but he couldn't do much against my armor. Soon enough, it was defeated. I wonder what's going to be at the end of the tunnel. Up ahead, I could see something glowing in the distance. What could it be? I walked into a large open room and subscribe? Hey, it's not a bad idea. If you love going on these adventures as much as I do, I'd love for you to hit the button and the bell. That way, you'll never miss out. On days 27 to 31, Rocky and I headed into the woods to look for the first crafting item we'd need for the glasses. I could hear a noise up ahead when suddenly a wolf hopped up on some stone blocks, blocking our path.
Ooh, a delicious bunny. The big bad wolf isn't going to mind if I eat you myself.
Go on and hide, Rocky. I can take this guy. The wolf and I charged at each other. He was pretty strong, but so was I. He snarled and bit, getting some hits in. He even got me down to half a heart. But I knew I could win. Your bark is worse than your bite. I gave one more swing and took him out. As he disappeared, I saw he dropped some kind of special item. What's this? I picked it up and saw it was a fire rod. Oh, cool. I wonder what this will do. Later on, I was walking along the water when a crocodile popped out and attacked me. I swung my fire rod, immediately catching him on fire. Whoa, nothing like a well-roasted croc for dinner. The crocodile panicked and jumped back into the water. Yeah, you'll think twice about messing with me next time. On days 32 to 35, Rocky and I arrived in the Badlands. Rocky had told me he had seen something strange in the area and thought it would be worth checking it out. As we rounded the corner, I saw a weird sign. Let the water lift you up. What does that mean? There was a nearby lever, so I gave it a flick and nothing happened.
What happens when you jump in the water?
Rocky jumped into the water, but there was no effect. I don't think that's it. Let's try hitting one of these buttons. Rocky clicked on one of the buttons on the wall and an arrow came flying out right over Rocky's head. Whoa, I don't think that's it. I guess I'll give this other one a try. I nervously reached forward and hit the button and some redstone dust popped out.
Look, you can put the dust here to complete the circuit.
I walked over by Rocky and put down the redstone dust. Then I flipped the switch. This time, a column of water came pouring down. That did the trick. I jumped into the column of water and swam to the very top. When I reached the top, there was a chest. Inside of the chest, there were some different brick blocks, as well as one glowstone. This isn't exactly what I was expecting.
Zozo, up here.
I followed Rocky up another flight of stairs and saw some glasses frames at the top. This is just what we were looking for. The first piece. The Elder Rabbit will be excited to see this. On days 36 to 39, Rocky and I returned back to the base. First things first, I needed to craft a new fence. I couldn't risk another attack by the big bad wolf gang, or worse, the wolf himself. By using some of the brick, I was able to make a nice perimeter fence. Once that was complete, Rocky and I worked together to make him his own place too. Thanks for all your help so far, Rocky. I think it'll be good for you to have your own place.
I'm happy to be here. Let's build a pen and get some sheep. That way we can work on the statue.
Good idea. Rocky and I headed into the forest and managed to find a herd of sheep. Using leads, we roped them up and led them back to their new pen. With the sheep all locked up, I then took some orange dye and got to work dyeing all of the sheep orange. Orange, you guys glad you're not dinner? I went ahead and sheared all of the sheep, then collected all of the orange dye. From there, Rocky and I headed off to find a good spot to build the statue. Once we found a suitable location, we got to work clearing a space, building up a base, then working on the statue itself. After a bit, the first part was complete. Nice job, Rocky. This is a good spot to stop. As we were taking down the scaffolding, a group of parrots walked up to us.
Hey, you're a bunny. You must be against the big bad wolf then.
You'd be correct. What's up?
We've been on the run ever since the wolf started cloaking. Nowhere feels safe.
I know what you mean, but there's safety in numbers. You guys should come join us at our base.
That's just what we need. We'll go gather our things and then we'll meet you there.
I told them where to go, and they headed off. Back at the base, Rocky and I got to work building them their own house to stay. I couldn't believe the wolf was even hunting birds. We'd do our best to keep them safe. I started days 40 to 43 by putting in some paths throughout the base. The next morning, I got to work harvesting the carrots and planting some pumpkins. Then I filled the rest of the spots with carrots. We've got a lot of new friends starting to show up. I've got to be sure everyone is well fed. Just then, the parrots walked up and I finally got to show them the place I had built for them. They were really excited to have a safe place to rest. After they took a look around, their leader came to talk to me.
You're looking for the parts of the rad glasses, right? The ones that let you see the invisible wolf?
I am. Do you know something about their parts?
Only rumors. I've really only heard about one of the parts, that is. But I don't know if you're gonna love where you have to go to find it.
I'll do whatever it takes. On days 44 to 49, I was getting ready to leave my base for the new location. I think it'll be better for you to stay here, Rocky. I don't know if this will be the best place for a squirrel. Rocky understood and agreed to work on the base while I was gone. After a long journey, I finally arrived in the area the parrot had told me about. Oh man, it's freezing here. No wonder the parrot said I wouldn't like it. Just then, I stumbled across an abandoned igloo. This will be a great place to stop and rest. As I left the igloo though, I was suddenly attacked by a snow leopard. Whoa, where did you come from? The snow leopard was vicious. He had giant fangs and powerful claws. He must have set this camp up as a trap. I'll never let the wolf and his allies win. I swung with all my power and took him out. It's a good thing I upgraded all my armor before I left. Otherwise, I'd be rabbit stew. On days 50 to 53, I had finally made it out of the cold and arrived at the place the parrot had mentioned. As I walked up to the tower, I saw there were two wolves standing guard. Hey, can I come in?
No.
Well, that was a short conversation. I don't know why I even bothered asking. They're wolves. Of course they'll just attack me. This wolf was just a junior guard, so I finished him off easily. You're not getting in my way either. I turned and attacked the other guard too, who didn't put up much of a fight, and I defeated him in no time. All right, let's get that glasses part. I climbed to the top of the tower, but there was another wolf waiting for me. This one was stronger than the others. By using my fire rod though, I managed to light him on fire and eventually take him out, nearly losing my life in the process.
Hey there, can you help me out?
I took out my axe and started chopping away at the nearby cage. There was no part for the glasses, but there was a bunny trapped inside.
Thanks for breaking me out. Let me guess, you were looking for a piece of the glasses.
Yeah, I was. Do you know anything about it?
I was here looking for it too, but I guess it got moved to a dungeon far away from here. That's what I heard the henchmen saying anyway.
Shoot, that is in the complete opposite direction. Well, might as well stop at my base in the meantime. Feel free to join me there. The rabbit agreed, and we headed off for the base. On days 54 to 57, the bunny and I arrived back at the base, which was on fire. Oh no, what's going on? As I got closer, I could see that the base was being attacked by a pack of wolves. Standing outside the base, I could see the big bad wolf. He was giving orders to his men. The wolf gang headed into the base and rounded up all the parrots. They were taking them prisoner. I don't have the glasses yet, but I have to do something. I sprinted into the base, sword in hand. The wolves attacked. Get out of my home. We never did anything to you. One by one, I cut down all the wolves. Soon enough, the only one left was Mr. Big Bad. You're gonna pay for this. I charged at the big bad wolf, leaping into the air, when suddenly he disappeared. Oh, you coward. I'll find you. On days 58 to 62, I took a look around at all of the damage. I couldn't believe I didn't keep everyone safe. As I walked around, I could see that everyone was gone. That's when I heard a noise from under the table. Rocky, what are you doing under there?
Zozo, I was so scared, but this was all my fault. I told the wolves where the base was. He had captured my squirrel friend and said he would hurt him if I didn't tell him where to go.
Rocky, you should have told me. We could have rescued your friend together.
I know, I'm so sorry. In the end, he didn't let my friend go and just took away all of our new friends. I hope you can forgive me.
I felt bad for Rocky. I could tell he was sorry. It's okay. I know you just wanted to help your friend. We can figure it out together. In the meantime, though, we better go get some supplies to rebuild the base. From there, I headed into the mines and managed to find plenty of iron, as well as some gold and coal. I smelted down all of the iron and used it to make some iron bars. Then I headed out to the river and scooped up a bunch of clay. I then used the clay to make more bricks. At long last, I headed outside and replaced the fence with iron bars, while also repairing any other holes with the bricks. It took a while, but soon the defenses were complete. Those wolves are gonna have a heck of a time breaking in again. On days 63 to 66, I told the bunny and Rocky to hang back at the base while I headed out to the dungeon. This could be dangerous, and I didn't want to lose any more friends. The journey was a long one, and I passed through all kinds of different terrain. As I was passing over a mountain, I saw a wolf in the distance, just as it destroyed a baby elephant. It was the big bad wolf. What have you done? I charged at the wolf, but he disappeared again. What kind of monster would attack an innocent elephant? As I looked down, the elephant's mom came over the hill.
What have you done to my baby?
No, it wasn't me. It was the big bad wolf. The elephant didn't care, and she attacked. I took a few swings to keep her back as I tried to explain, but she wasn't listening. My only option was to run away as fast as I could. On days 67 to 70, I could see the entrance to the cave up ahead. It looked really dark and scary. This must be it. Who knows what's waiting for me inside? I entered the cave and soon found out. Waiting for me was was a group of skeletons. Ah, why are you guys so creepy? The skeletons swung their swords and shot their arrows as I jumped around, hitting them with my sword. They got some hits in, but I was able to take them all out. I headed deeper into the caves and saw a spawner. Let's just get rid of this. I can't fight these mobs off for forever. On days 71 to 74, I pushed further into the mines when I saw some diamonds.
Wow.
Oh, those would help me so much. I quickly put up a bridge to cross over when suddenly the wall exploded and a zombified piglin came bursting through. Whoa! I quickly pulled out my fire rod and lit him up. He lit on fire, but my fire rod broke. Ouch, he's so strong. I swung with my sword as my health dropped, finally taking him out. As he disappeared, he dropped something. I picked it up, a diamond hammer. This thing is powerful, and I'm getting it just in time too. Excited about my new weapon, I headed back over to the diamonds and mined them out, being careful not to drop them in the lava. With the diamonds in hand, I put down a crafting table and made myself a pair of diamond leggings to replace my iron ones. Maybe we can make it through here after all. On days 75 to 78, I had finally reached a big empty room. There was a chest on the other side. Hello? Looks like this place is deserted. I walked over to the chest when suddenly I heard a thump behind me. I turned around and saw a giant spider had dropped down from the ceiling. Oh, hey man, you mind if I grab what's in the chest and leave?
You wish, buddy boy. You're not getting out of here alive.
I thought you might say something like that. Just then, the spider leaped forward and attacked. I got hidden, but not before he started shooting his webs at me. Oh boy, this isn't going to be as easy as I was hoping.
Looks like it's time to get my very own lucky rabbit foot.
That's just a weird thing to say. The spider charged at me, but I was ready. I jumped out of the way, causing him to jump into the pool of lava. I'll keep my feet, thanks. Just then, I felt the energy surge through me, and I leveled up into a buff bunny man. Whoa, I have 10 hearts now too. I went over to the chest and opened it. Inside were the lenses to the rad glasses, along with a bunch of diamonds. I can't wait to see what the Elder Rabbit can do with these. On days 79 to 84, I arrived at the Elder Rabbit's house. Sir, I've got everything you need to remake the rad glasses.
Zozo, well done, well done. This is just what we needed.
The Elder Rabbit quickly turned to his enchanting table and assembled the glasses, imbuing them with special power. He turned and tossed them back to me.
Take these and take courage. The hope of all bunny kind rests with you now. We know you can do it.
Thank you. I'll give it everything I've got. I turned and left his house. Time to get ready for the final fight. On days 85 to 89, I arrived back at the base and saw the Rabbit and Rocky had done a great job improving it. Nice job, you guys. This place looks amazing.
Thanks, Zozo. We had a lot more creatures come and join us, so we had to build them all a place to stay.
Aren't they scared?
Yes, but they believe in you and know this is the safest place for them to be.
I sure hope so. That reminds me, we better finish our special project. There could be more creatures out there. Rocky and I headed back out to our statue and got to work finishing it up. This carrot was going to be a beacon to all the animals in the area that this was a safe place. It didn't take long, and we were soon finished. Now let's go get prepped. We've got some wolf butt to kick. On days 90 to 94, I was back in the base, putting together some diamond armor. I used the diamonds I had found in the dungeon, as well as some additional ones Rocky had found in the cave. I better go check the chest too. Rocky said he had some stuff for me in there. I opened the chest and saw it was full of healing potions. I grabbed them all and added them to my inventory. I'm feeling pretty stacked. Let's go wolf hunting. On days 95 to 96, I ran across the land in the direction of the wolf's base. It wasn't too long until I hit a river. The wolf's base was supposed to be further downstream, so I chopped down a nearby tree and built myself a boat. As I paddled down the river, I soon entered a dense jungle. It wasn't too long until I came across my first wolf. Hey, leave that cat alone! I ran ashore and started swinging, saving the cat.
Thank you. I thought I was a goner for sure.
No problem. I'm just glad you're okay.
You're so nice. Here, follow me. I saw something I think you'll find useful.
Cat set off into the trees as I followed close behind. We soon reached a small stone building covered in cobwebs. I cut down the webs and opened the chest inside. A trident and a shield. You're right. These will help a ton. Thank you.
Happy to help. I owe you after all.
I invited the cat to stay at my base, to which he happily agreed. I decided to give the trident a test, sticking it into the nearby tree. This thing is awesome. It's definitely going to help in the fight. I headed back to my boat and kept rowing down the river. Suddenly, the crocodile from before popped out. This guy again. I thought I taught him a lesson the last time. The crocodile lunged at me, catching me in his jaws. Oh, let me go! I swung my sword as he kept trying to do damage to me. This guy was tough. Let's see how you like this. I took out my trident and threw it, spearing him into oblivion. Better luck next time, pal. On days 97 to 98, I was rowing down the river when I saw my stop up ahead. I jumped out of the boat and started climbing the mountain. The wolf's lair soon came into view. As I got closer, a couple of wolves attacked. Sorry guys, but you picked the wrong guy for a boss. By using my sword, trident, and shield, I managed to fend them off. I entered the mansion, and more wolves attacked. They were vicious, but they were no match for my new armor and weapons. One by one, I took them out. Let's see, where could this guy be? I'll check the basement. I headed down the stairs and saw a tarantula at the end of the hallway, who charged. What's with this guy and spiders? The tarantula managed to stick me with a stinger, which poisoned me. It was doing damage, so I had to be quick. Luckily, I was able to take him out as the poison wore off. Let's try upstairs instead. I headed to the second floor as a couple of wolf guards came charging at me. I could tell these guys thought they were cool, but they couldn't get past my shield. Guess they weren't the smartest couple of doggos. I managed to take them both out. I was rounding one of the corners when a monkey came running up to me. Hey you! Oh hey, wow, you sound just like me. That's because I am you, from the other video. Oh yeah, the video where I survived 100 days as a monkey. That's right. Yeah, I just wanted to stop by and tell people they should come watch my monkey adventure after they finish this one. I think they'll like it. I agree. That was a crazy adventure. Tell Chim Chim I say hi. I will. Good luck with the wolf. Thanks. Wow, what a nice guy. On day 99, I reached the top floor of the lair where the big bad wolf was sitting on his throne, waiting for me.
Well, 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 if it isn't the little bunny who cried wolf.
You think you're so strong, but you attack bunnies who can't see you. You're a coward.
Is that so? Now you're just making me angry, and I was already hungry. You won't like me when I'm hangry.
The wolf leaped forward and attacked. He was strong, but I was ready. He got a few bites in, but I landed some blows of my own. I could tell he wasn't expecting me to be so strong.
Let's see how you like this.
The wolf started summoning in some smaller wolves who I was able to easily outmaneuver and defeat. Then I hit the wolf with my sword, causing him to retreat. Still a coward, hiding behind others to fight for you, I see.
I'm not a coward. I'm just powerful. Enough games. This ends now.
Suddenly, the wolf disappeared and started to attack me. And now you're cloaking? You're just proving me right. The wolf reappeared on his throne.
Who cares? You'll be gone soon. No one can stop me when I use my powers.
I quickly grabbed my rad glasses and put them on. The wolf used his cloaking power again, but I could still see him.
What? How did you hit me?
Not so invisible after all, are you?
How dare you?
The wolf let out a flurry of attacks, which caught me off guard, nearly taking all of my health. Maybe I was being a little too cocky. He only had to hit me one more time, and I was done for.
Zozo!
I looked over and saw Rocky standing by the stairs.
Catch!
He threw a splash potion at me, which immediately restored all of my health.
No!
I pulled out my trident and threw it at the wolf, destroying him for good. Rocky, I can't believe you followed me here. I'm glad you did, though. You saved the day. But our work here isn't done yet. On day 100, I headed down into the basement and used my hammer to break the animals out of their cages. Be free, my friends. It's safe now. After I had broken all of the animals out, I stood by the door of the mansion as the creatures ran to freedom. Sometime later, I was back at my base, surrounded by all my new friends. Thanks for all of your help, and I'll catch you in my next adventure. On day 1, I spawned in as a stray cat. I've only got a few hearts, but look how quick I am. I noticed that I was starting to feel hungry, so I immediately started looking for food. As I explored, I soon saw a small village up ahead. I checked one of the houses and noticed that there was some meat on the table. Oh, perfect, just what I need. I hopped up on the table and grabbed it.
Hey, get out of my house!
The human clearly didn't want me here. I wasn't ready for a fight, so all I could do was run. I kept running until I was back in the woods from before. Why was he so mean to me? This is going to be a hard 100 days if no one wants to be my friend. I kept exploring the woods when I saw a group of cats up ahead. More cats! Hi, guys!
Oh hey, you must be new around here. We were just trying to figure out how we were going to get some dinner.
You're telling me. I just took some meat from one guy's house and he chased me all around. But here, I'll share it with you guys. The cats were really thankful and excited about the meat. They must have been really hungry. I was glad to have met them. We were going to have all kinds of great adventures together. Before we had realized it, night had fallen. That was when we were suddenly attacked by a zombie.
Quick, into the trees!
My new cat friends had all climbed into the trees, but I wasn't fast enough. I had no choice but to fight. Luckily, the zombie wasn't very strong, and I was able to fight him off. But that was just one, and a whole group of skeletons were suddenly on me. I've got to get away! I ran off and soon saw a thick tree. I hurried and punched a hole in it where I was able to crawl inside, away from the skeletons. That was way too risky. I'll have to stay in here for the night. On day 2, I woke up to one of my new cat friends punching a hole in the tree.
Come on, Zozo, we've got to start looking for food.
What do you mean? I thought cats got to lay around and be lazy all day.
That's just house cats. Strays like us have to work hard all day to survive. Come on.
I hopped out of the tree and got to work punching some trees and collecting wood. With the wood I collected, I made a crafting table, then used the crafting table to make a wood pickaxe, shovel, axe, and sword. I'm gonna have to get even more wood if I'm gonna make myself a proper base. Using my new wood axe, I got to work chopping down some more wood. That's when I heard the sound of a spider and was suddenly attacked. Back off, you creepy crawler. The claws were still stronger than a wooden sword, so I swung them and managed to take the spider out. Not too much later, even more spiders attacked. I was really quick and nimble, so I had no problem taking them out too. Alright, that's enough spider fighting. I need to get working on that base. I climbed up a nearby tree and started working on a treehouse. It was hard enough that we would have to scrounge for food. We didn't need to be constantly fighting off mobs too. Speaking of food though, I saw a small bird had landed on the other side of my treehouse. Ooh, that bird looks delicious. I positioned myself, then sprang forward, missing the platform. There was a loud crunch as I hit the ground. I landed on my feet, but falling from a big height still hurt. To my surprise though, my health started going up. That's when a counter appeared, showing that my 9 lives were now down to 8. Just then, my cat friend came running over.
Oh, thank goodness. I heard you fall and was worried it might have been your last life.
Nope, I've still got 8 to go.
Oh, well, you're lucky. The rest of us have been strays for a while, and we're all down to our last one. Hopefully you're never in our position.
There was no time to talk though, as suddenly a pack of wolves came out of nowhere and attacked.
Zozo, run!
We all split up and ran off in different directions. Why were these wolves chasing us?
Come here, you little snack.
Oh, because they wanted to eat us. Of course. I managed to jump into my tree and climb up to the top. Thankfully, the wolves were too big to fit in my tree.
You got away this time, but we'll be back. You can't get away from our boss.
I didn't like the sound of that, but at least for now, they were leaving me alone. As long as I can climb trees, I'm sure I'll be safe. Later, my cat friends climbed up with me, and together we all watched the sunset. At least we all had each other. On day 3, I woke up to a terrifying sound. The sound of wolf howls. It was scary, but we were still safe in the trees. But that's when I saw him. What is that? A giant wolf monster was headed our way. This must be the other wolf's boss.
You can't hide from me.
The monster wolf climbed up the side of the tree, up onto our platform. Watch out, guys, run! We all ran off in different directions, but it was too late. The wolves managed to get all of my friends, knocking them out one by one. No, my friends! There was nothing more I could do. Somehow I was the lucky one, and they didn't notice me up in the tree. As the wolves left, all I could think about was how alone I felt. Those wolves are gonna pay for what they've done. Mark my words. On days 4 to 5, I woke up in my unfinished base. It's not safe here in the forest. I'll have to find a new place to live. I left the forest and headed off. I had heard once that cats were originally desert animals, so I decided I would find a desert far from here to live in. I'm sure wolves won't like the desert heat too. A desert will be twice as safe. As I entered the desert, I decided that I was going to build the greatest cat tower the world had ever seen. Plus, it would be really safe to live in. Triple safety. If I'm gonna do this, I've gotta get stone, and lots of it. I found myself a nice cave and snuck down into it, mining up as much stone as I could. While I was down there, I also made sure to grab some coal that could be used to power my furnace later. Let's get crafting. Using a crafting table, I used my new stone to make myself a stone pickaxe. I also made myself a stone shovel, sword, and axe. Next up, wood. I needed tons of wood, so much that I cleared out an entire area of trees. With my inventory now full of all the building supplies I needed, I started to build the first level of my cat tower that would also double as my starter base. Once I had finished the outside, I got to work filling up the inside. I put up some pictures as well as all the tables I was going to need. Soon, the first level was complete. All right, I think this is going to be a very safe place for me to live. Just as I was saying that, there was an explosion that blew a hole in my wall. What was that? I took a closer look and saw that the base was under attack by creepers. Luckily, there was only one more, so I tried to fight it off. It exploded too, but at least it didn't cause any additional damage to the base. Looks like I better put some torches out. I got right to work, surrounding the base with as many torches as I could. I didn't even want to risk having more creepers blowing me up in the night. Once all the torches were out, I was feeling a little hungry. That's when I saw some desert rabbits hopping around nearby. Dinner! I ran around after the rabbits until I finally managed to take one down. I cooked the meat back at the base, then chowed down. That sure was tasty, but I'm gonna have to find out an easier way to eat if I'm going to live here much longer. On day 6 to 8, I got up and headed out the door. It was enough delay. I needed to start getting ready to fight back against the wolves. It wasn't too long and I found myself heading down into a cave. Time to find some iron. Just inside the cave were several iron veins, so I got right to work mining them all out. After a while, I had gotten plenty of iron, and I heard a growl behind me. Who's there?
What are you doing in my cave? Leave now or I'll be forced to take you down.
Please, I just wanted to collect some iron. These evil wolves destroyed all of my friends, and now I have nowhere to call home.
I know your pain. My family was taken from me when I was young too. Not by wolves, but by poachers at a nearby village. I've been all alone ever since.
Why don't you take revenge on those poachers? Have you seen yourself? You're a big, powerful lion.
I never really thought about it. I guess I didn't realize just how big I've gotten.
Yeah, let's do it. Although first I've got to drop this stuff off at my base. You can come along if you'd like. The lion and I ran back over to my base. When we arrived, the lion was impressed.
Wow, this is quite the place you've got here. Much better than my cold cave.
Thanks. Give me a bit here to get ready to go. I tossed the iron I had collected into the furnace and smelted it all down. When it was done, I got crafting and made myself a full set of iron armor. I even made myself a full set of iron equipment, which the lion was really impressed by. Turned out he was actually really nice. Oh, and his name was Lenny. On days 9 to 10, Lenny and I traveled to the village where the poachers were living. As soon as we got there, we could see the poachers. There were tons of small animals in cages, and they even had the lion's family's heads mounted on the wall. These guys were sick. Lenny wasted no time and attacked. I tried to jump in too so that I could help as much as possible. Lenny was so strong and managed to take most of them out. Suddenly, a couple of poachers surrounded him, and it wasn't looking good. Heads up! I jumped down from above and managed to take out the poachers. There were a few more left, but together we were able to take them all out. Nice job, Lenny. I know it can't replace your family, but at least justice has been served.
Thank you for encouraging me, Zozo. I feel much better than I did before. I also feel hungry. These little birds look delicious.
Oh, hang on. I know we like to eat meat, but these guys don't deserve the same fate as your family. Let's let them go. Lenny was disappointed but agreed, so we let them all out of their cages. I'm pretty sure some of them got away from Lenny just a little faster than they normally would have. We then headed over to the nearby farm and gathered up as many seeds as we could. If we really wanted to help animals, it looked like we might have to get used to a little more grain in our diets. Except when it comes to chickens. I took out a few chickens to eat later. I was still a carnivore after all. With all that out of the way, I asked Lenny if he wanted to live at my base with me, to which he happily agreed. Back at the base, I got right to work making Lenny his own bedroom. I felt bad he had been living in a cold cave alone all this time, so I did my best to make it really nice. On days 11 to 12, I went to find Lenny to ask him some questions. I asked him if he knew anything about the huge wolf that had taken out his family, but he said he wasn't sure. There was, however, a wise elephant that I could ask. I made my way to a nearby savanna to find the elephant. I tried asking all the animals I passed, but none of them seemed to know who I was talking about. As I was looking, I was suddenly attacked by a pack of hyenas. Leave me alone, you giggle freaks! I managed to hurt some of the hyenas. There were way too many of them. I was still just a little cat and had to get out of there. I managed to make it out of there, which is when I saw a baby elephant. Oh, I bet they know something. I ran over to them. Hey, I'm looking for a wise old elephant. Do you know where I can find them?
I do. Come with me. I can show you.
As we traveled, I noticed she seemed kind of sad. I soon found out why. We arrived in an elephant graveyard, and she brought me to a grave.
This is the elephant you are looking for. She was my grandmother and raised me after my parents died. I'm sorry to say, but she passed recently.
I'm sorry to hear that. I heard she was able to help a lot of people.
She was. In fact, she taught me how to help people the way she did. She would look into the water and could see things.
Do you think you'd be able to help me? A wolf has been destroying all of my friends and their families. I need to find him and stop him.
I would, but I'm too scared to try it by myself.
Before I could say another word, though, the hyenas from earlier attacked. But this time I couldn't run away. I had to protect my new friend. As I was fighting the hyenas, the baby elephant ran away. It was a hard fight. These guys were strong and there were a lot of them. But I couldn't fail now. I mustered up the courage and destroyed them all. On days 13 to 15, I went off to search for the baby elephant. That fight must have really spooked her. I've got to let her know everything is okay. As I ran across the land, I soon saw her at the stream. She was really scared. Hey, I'm sorry about that back there, but everything is okay now.
You fought off all of those hyenas? That was really brave of you.
Thank you, but can I let you in on a little secret?
What's that?
I was actually really scared. They had attacked me before, and the first time, I ran away.
Really? Why didn't you run away this time?
I thought about it, but I knew you needed my help, so I did my best to be brave. The elephant thought about it for a bit.
Okay, I will try using my abilities. You want to see where the wolf lives? I'll see what I can do.
We looked into the stream, and she started to explain what she saw.
It looks like he built himself an ice fortress in the Great Tundra. He'll often lead his wolf pack out to attack other animals, like cats. But he isn't doing it for food. He's doing it for fun. This doesn't look good.
Thank you for doing that. I know it wasn't easy, but you were great. I have to defeat him, but I know I'm not strong enough yet. Say, what's your name?
Oh, it's Delilah.
Delightful. Would you want to come live at my base with me? It might feel safer there.
Well, thank you, but I feel like I'm not ready to leave the land of my grandma yet. But please, come see me anytime.
I thanked her and took off. As I was crossing the stream, though, I was suddenly attacked by a crocodile. I already hated water enough. Now there were things attacking me. Come on, you little snapper, leave me alone. I tried to run away, but he was too quick. It looked like my only option was to fight. It wasn't too long, and he managed to take me out. That's when I saw my life counter change from 8 lives to 7. Oh no, that's not good. Problem was, I still couldn't run. The croc was vicious and wouldn't leave me alone. Suddenly, I had lost another life. Oh, I can't take much more of this. Luckily for me though, I had been getting hits in, and even though he had taken 2 of my lives, I was able to finally take his. And he only had 1. And stay down. I decided to explore the bank a little more, and soon saw the nook where the crocodile must have been hiding. I looked inside and there was a chest. Oh, look at all these fish! My favorite food. And in the middle, there was a mystical fruit salad. I don't really like fruit, but I'll give it a go. I scarfed it down and it turns out, it was delicious. Just then, I felt some power surge through me and I got bigger with more hearts. Wow, maybe there's something to this eating fruit thing. On days 16 to 19, I arrived back at the base. I met up with Lenny and he told me that he was feeling really hungry. Hey, you can have some of this fish I just got. He was pretty happy about that. Then I decided I should start planting seeds, as we would need to have a good food source. I decided to build the farm into the tower, and thought that worked really well. This farm looks great. I was thinking about the fight with the crocodile, and how I had lost so many lives. I was going to have to be more careful. So to do that, I decided to craft myself a bow. That way I won't have to be so close to danger all the time. But first, I'm gonna need some string. I took off in the direction of a nearby cave, and soon found some spiders. The spiders weren't nearly as happy to see me as I was to see them, and in no time, I had gotten myself enough string to make my bow. Now that I had everything I needed, I was able to quickly put together a bow for myself. It was just in time too, because a black bear had walked up behind me. I hope this thing works. I started firing the bow, landing hits with my arrows. The bear was angry with me, but I was feeling way better with my ranged weapon. Soon enough, I had taken him out. On days 20 to 22, I had the urge to build. It was statue time, but in order to do that, I was gonna need some wool. I went and talked to Lenny about it, and he told me there was a herd of sheep nearby he was thinking of hunting. No, you can't hunt these guys. We'll need their wool. Lenny was disappointed, but agreed. He wasn't taking to a plant-based diet as easily as I was. I headed off in the direction Lenny had mentioned and soon saw the sheep. I took out my wheat and led them back toward my base. When we arrived, I quickly put together a pen, then locked them all inside. That's when Lenny came around the corner.
Okay, dinner.
Lenny, wait! You promised you weren't going to eat them, remember? They're for wool, not food.
Ah, shoot. Fine.
Next up, I needed to get some dye to turn the sheep into the proper colors. I went to the plains biome and found some corn flowers. Using the flowers, I was able to make some blue dye and dye the sheep blue. Now it was time to get started. Using the wool, I started on the first part. I feel like this one is going to turn out even better than anything I've built so far, but you'll have to be the judge of that. Soon, the first part was complete. And don't forget to hit the subscribe button and hit the bell, otherwise you'll miss out on all my future adventures. On days 23 to 26, I felt like it was time to learn more about this wolf monster and travel to the Arctic where he lived. As I got closer, I heard some wolf howls and hurried up into a tree to hide. I'm not letting them catch me off guard this time. Just then, I saw the wolves come by, and as they got closer, I saw that I had a good shot with my bow. If only there weren't so many of them. I decided it wasn't worth the risk, especially with the wolf monster there. But now I knew for sure that he lived here. As I watched them, I saw them go toward a snowy village. They attacked some of the villagers and took out their livestock. These guys were horrible. They continued through the village, taking everything out. When there was nothing left, they left the village. Why would they do something like this? Now that they were gone, I went to investigate the village. There were some crops here, and it didn't look like the villagers were going to be needing them anytime soon, so I picked up as much as I could. As I was going through the village, I suddenly ran into a baby wolf. What are you doing here?
Hey you, leave me alone or else. I'm super mean because I'm a wolf.
Look, buddy, you're not fooling anyone. All the other wolves are gone. Fight me if you want, but we know how it's gonna end.
Ah, shucks, you're right. If the other guys knew I was gonna get shown up by a cat, they'd bully me so bad, even worse than they already do. Why do you think I'm here? They're always leaving me behind and being so mean.
I couldn't help but feel bad for this little guy. Look, it's okay. I remember what it was like being a little cat. Why do you say you come join me instead? These guys don't sound like they really care about you.
You can say that again. You know what? I'm out of here. Just because we're all wolves doesn't mean I have to put up with them.
He was pretty fired up, but I was glad I could help him out. We took off, back to the base. On days 27 to 31, we arrived back at the base. The baby wolf, whose name was Willie, immediately tried to eat the sheep. Hang on, those are our friends, not food. Here, let me get you something. I tossed him some fish, which he was happy to have. That's when Lenny came walking up to us. It turned out he had really been starting to enjoy the veggie life and wanted to share some with us. We headed up to the garden and Lenny tossed some new food out for us. I took a bite. Oh wow, these are really good. You weren't joking. Just then, I grew a little bigger and gained more hearts. Well, would you look at that? Eating veggies is actually good for you. You get more hearts and stay healthy. Nice. I then realized that Willie had nowhere to stay, so I got busy building him his own section of the base. It wasn't big, but it would be perfect for him. Since Lenny was so interested in farming now, I decided I would put a barn together for him too. This way he could put all his farming tools in one place and hopefully continue to not eat the sheep. Soon, the build was complete. I was starting to run low on wood, so I headed over to the nearby birch forest to stock up. I collected all the wood I needed, then decided to head back. On my way back, I was suddenly attacked by a giant cockroach. How gross! If I would have known there were bugs like this here, I wouldn't have chosen to live here. I had managed to make my way into a tree where I was able to pick them off with the bow. But suddenly, Willie came running into the fight. Willie, no, stay back! Willie ignored me and kept fighting. But it turned out, he was actually a really good fighter. Soon, we had taken them out. Whoa, nice moves. Those other wolves better watch out. You'd be able to kick their butts. Willie told me I was being too nice, and we headed back to the base. Later on, I had gone into the mines where I found some iron. I figured Willie could use some armor, so I collected as much as I could. Back at the base, I smelted down the iron, then used the iron ingots to make him his very own set of iron armor. I went and gave it to him, which he was very excited about. On days 32 to 35, I woke up to the sound of meowing. Could that be more cats? I went to take a look and it turned out there were a bunch of cats out there. Oh, hey guys, how did you find me?
There's a giant cat tower in the middle of the desert. How could we miss it?
Yeah, that's a pretty good point. They asked if they could live here, and I of course agreed. That did leave me with a problem though. I couldn't fit all of them in my room. So I got right to work making them their own rooms at the top of the tower. I couldn't believe more cats were around. I would have to keep an eye out for some more of them. Once I had finished building their houses, I went to work on the statue with Willie. I had to get the next part done. If my cat tower was drawing people in, I'm sure a big statue would bring them in too. Soon, we finished the second part. Back at the base, I decided to check in with the cats. They had settled in nicely. Hey, do you guys know of any other cats? I'd love to help as many as I can.
Well, there is this one woman we had heard of who takes in cats and cares for them. We were actually on our way there when we found your base. You could try checking there.
They explained to me where I needed to go. I wanted to make as many cat friends as I could. We would be stronger together. On days 36 to 39, I arrived in the desert the cats had mentioned, but I didn't see a house anywhere. Let me see if someone can help me. I talked to every animal I ran into, hoping they could point me in the right direction. But everyone I talked to said they hadn't heard of her. That's when I suddenly stumbled upon a huge desert pyramid. Well, it's not the house I'm looking for, but maybe there's something useful in here. I headed into the pyramid, which is when I saw a horde of zombies at the bottom. Luckily, I still had my bow, so I used that to hurry and take most of them out. Then I jumped down and finished the rest of them off with my sword. As I explored, I came across more zombies, but I was able to fight them off. Just then, I saw a button with a sign next to it. Just a normal button, trust me. Okay, I hit the button and another button rose up out of the ground. I shrugged and hit that button. I heard a noise in the other room and ran over to see a hole had opened up in the ground. Oh, what could be down here? I went down in the hole and found another button. This is getting a little ridiculous. I hit the button, which revealed a hidden room full of gold. Wait, seriously? I thought for sure this must have been a trap. I entered the room and started picking up all of the loot. This was some good stuff. I checked the chest and saw there was an enchanting book for Punch 2. Oh, now my bow is really gonna be able to knock people back. I was feeling pretty good about things, so I headed back out of the pyramid, off to try and find the woman's house. On days 40 to 43, I was running through some hills when I saw a group of llamas. Hey, do you guys know where I could find a cat lady's house? To my luck, they knew exactly who I was talking about. Turns out the house was just over the hill. They told me to be careful though. The lady was pretty weird. I ran in the direction they had pointed and soon saw the house in the distance. I ran up to the house when a woman came running out.
Oh, it's another kitty! Here, kitty kitty! Here, kitty kitty!
Oh wow, you're super friendly. I heard you had a bunch of cats here and I'd love to meet them.
Oh yes, I love cats! They're the best! Maybe you can even stay here with me!
Oh, well, maybe? I've kind of got my own thing going, but I'd love to say hi to everyone.
Well, please come in. Let me show you around.
The woman led me into her house and showed me around to the different rooms. I could hear some cats, but none of the rooms we went into seemed to have any cats. Something seemed off, but maybe it was just how much she seemed to love cats.
And this final room is my favorite. It's where all the cats live.
Finally! I stepped into the room, but all of the cats were in cages. What was going on?
You can be my newest friend!
Suddenly, I was hit with a potion and went to sleep. On days 44 to 49, I woke up inside of one of the cages on the wall. The crazy cat lady had captured me. I tried my best to break out, but she had taken all of my tools. Is there anyone out there?
Yeah, man, I can hear you. Just give up. There's no way to get out of this place.
What do you mean? How did you guys end up here?
We all thought this was going to be a good place for us strays to live, but she keeps us locked up in cages. She likes cats, but she likes them so much, she never wants us to leave, even for a second.
The cat lady had come into the room and was going around feeding the other cats. This might be my moment to escape. As she came to my cage and opened it, I pounced. Out of my way, lady! I saw a chest nearby. My stuff must be in there. Inside, I could see I was right and tried to grab as much of it as I could, but it was no use as I was hit by another one of her potions, which put me back to sleep. I woke up again, back in the cage. Tried punching the walls again, but it was no use.
I told you, it's better just to give up. This is our life now.
How long have you been in here anyway?
Oh, I don't even remember anymore. It's been years.
Years? I can't be here for years. What's going to happen to all my friends without me? On days 50 to 53, I awoke in my cage to the sound of panting. It was Willie. Willie, what are you doing here?
Something about this cat lady seemed fishy to me, so I followed you, just in case.
Boy, am I glad you did. Willie opened the cage and I hopped out. I was free. I ran over to the chest and grabbed all my stuff. Just then, the cat lady came in.
Is that a wolf? I hate dogs and especially wolves. I'll take care of you.
The cat lady drank down a potion and turned into a witch. All right, Willy, we can take this lady. We all jumped into battle. She might have been crazy, but she was also crazy strong. Even with our combined power, we couldn't defeat her. Suddenly, I lost one of my lives. Oh shoot, now I'm down to 5. I can't let her beat me. I focused all of my energy and took her out. Just then, there was a surge of energy, and Willy leveled up. Whoa, Willy, look at you! You're even stronger than before! Willy was super excited. Next, we decided to take a look around the house and managed to find an enchanted diamond helmet. Oh, nice! I'm going to be even more protected than before. Maybe I can hold on to my remaining 5 lives now. I then met up with the other cats and invited them to come live at my base with me. They happily agreed, and we set off. On days 54 to 57, I made it back to the base and got right to work making additions to the base. With all the new cats, we were going to need some serious upgrades. They had spent so long in cages, I wanted to make sure they had a nice place to live. Soon, their room was complete. Later on, I was chatting with the cats when they told me how hungry they were. I was pretty much out of fish, and I couldn't ask them to stick to a plant-based diet. Although to be fair, Lenny had really gotten into it. Hang on, guys, I've got an idea. I headed back down to the base and went over to the water. Using my shovel, I dug out the land until I was able to connect the small pond near our base to the river. Now the water would run right by our front door, and fish could swim right up. I felt like it still needed something though, so I got to work building a fishing dock. We could store our fish and relax here, while the cats could cast a line into the water. Once the dock was complete, I led all the cats over to check it out. What do you guys think? We should be swimming in fish in no time. They were all happy as they threw their lines into the water. They'd never have to be hungry again. On days 58 to 62, I collected some wool off the sheep, then headed back over to the statue. I got to work on the next part. I'm sure it's pretty clear what I'm building at this point, but what do you think? Was this what you were expecting me to build? Once I had finished my work on the statue, I remembered I had gotten some enchanting books. Using my new book, I was able to add the punch enchantment to the bow. This will certainly pack a punch now. My bow was great, but I was going to need armor to match, so I left the base to go to a nearby mine. At the bottom of the mine, I could see a bunch of monsters, so I decided to take the new bow for a spin. It was working great, and I managed to take out a ton of them. Some of them got really close to me, but I still managed to take them out, one by one. Whew, hopefully there's not any more of them down here. I kept exploring and soon came across another group of creepers. Oh no, not more of these guys. I tried to take them out, but couldn't stop them all from exploding. Ouch! But what's that? I noticed the explosion had revealed an unnatural block and could hear skeletons on the other side. I broke a block, which revealed the entrance to a dungeon. On days 63 to 66, I knocked out the rest of the blocks and was immediately rushed by some skeletons. Oh, get out of here, you psychos! These skeletons were fast. It's a good thing I came prepared. They tried their best to take one more of my lives, but I managed to fight them all off. Alright, let's see what's going on back here. I entered the dungeon and could see more skeletons. Using my bow, I quickly fired at them and took them out. That's when I noticed a button in the middle of the room. What does this do? Unfortunately, it was a trap. More skeleton archers rose up from the ground. I was surrounded. They fired their arrows as I jumped to get out of the way. Luckily, I could take some cover, but even as I jumped out to hit them, it was still too hard. Oh, wait a second, they're stuck. I can just leave. I headed into the hallway. I guess whoever laid that trap didn't think it all the way through. I went and explored the hallways. I wasn't sure where to go next. Then I came across a sign that said treasure room. Oh, that sounds great to me. I ran into the hallway, falling into a hole. It was another trap. Oh man, I should have known that would happen. I landed in a stone room where there was no way out. Suddenly, the wall across from me started moving. I was going to get crushed. There's gotta be a way out. I noticed some different looking blocks and started mining. At the last second, I burst through and fell down another hole. This time though, I landed in a pool of water. Oh, this place is crazy. I've got to watch my step. Up ahead, I hit a button to open the door and walked through as lava fell from the ceiling. Luckily, I made it through the door quick enough before it could hurt me. The next room was full of lava with platforms I had to jump to. That would have been easy, except the place was full of skeleton archers. I tried to cross, but they knocked me into the lava. Ooh, hot, hot! I managed to crawl out before the lava burnt me to a crisp. I started shooting arrows at the skeleton, taking a couple of them out. That's when I noticed there was a chest and some diamonds up ahead. Oh, I've got to get to that. To reach it though, there was one more archer. I took careful aim and fired, taking him out. The treasure is all mine. I hopped the rest of the way up and opened the chest. Inside there was a diamond block as well as a bunch of diamonds. This is exactly what I was searching for. With everything out of the chest, I then mined out all of the diamonds in the wall. My pockets were now overflowing with goodies. Now how do I get out of here? I hopped across the room and saw a door, which I barely managed to get through after grabbing onto some vines. I swam up a waterfall and followed the hallways until I saw another room with a chest. Okay, there's gotta be a trap in here. I stepped forward slowly and set off a trap. That arrow nearly took my head off. I think there's only one way through. I took off at a sprint as the arrows flew by. Inside the chest was more diamonds, as well as some XP potions. I ran back through the traps, then loaded up on the XP. I went back through the hallways and soon saw another path through. I guess this must be the way out. I stepped forward when suddenly a bunch of lava came falling from the ceiling. trapping me inside the room. That was way too close. As I looked into the room though, I saw it was full of skeletons, including a big buff skeleton. There was no time to lose. I immediately started shooting my bow, taking out as many of them as I could. I got some hits in, but it was getting dicey. I didn't notice the buff skeleton had me in his sights, and after a good hit, he knocked out one of my lives. Oh no, now I only have 4 left. Over half of them are gone. I didn't have any other choice though. I had to keep fighting. I had managed to hit him a bunch, so he couldn't have had much health left. I hid behind a pole, then struck him with my claws, taking him out. Yeah, who's the tough guy now? And we'll just pretend that you didn't take one of my lives. That's when I noticed that I had actually picked up his head. Ooh, creepy. I wonder what else is in here. I ran around the room and saw a chest, which had an infinity enchantment in it, as well as some gold. In another chest, I also found a brand new bow. I knew just what to do next. At a nearby anvil, I added the infinity enchantment to my new bow, which gave me endless arrows. By now my pockets were filled with goodies, so I used some cobblestone to block the lava and left the dungeon. Back at the base, I stuck my mutant skeleton head above my door. Now everyone knows that this house belongs to one tough kitty. Now that I had a bunch of diamonds, I went over to the crafting table and got right to work, crafting myself an entire set of diamond armor. I was going to be super protected now. With the armor done, I also made myself a full set of diamond tools. It was just about time, as the iron tools just weren't going to cut it anymore. With all of the tools finished, I grabbed Willy and we got to work on the next part of the statue. It was time to add some details in, and I was excited to see how it was going to look. It didn't take too long, and we soon finished the next part. Back at the base, I was feeling like I was almost ready to take on the wolf monster, but asked Willy if he had any ideas of what I could do to power up.
Well, there's a special set of claws I've heard about. They're strong enough to rip through wolf hide.
That sounds like just what I need. Where do I find them?
There's a fort pretty far away from here that they are rumored to be in, but it's got some tough mobs defending it. I can show you the way.
That would be awesome. But first, let me go check with Lenny to see if he has any new veggies for me to take on the journey. I went up to the garden with Lenny, and he gathered me a fresh set of food. Thanks, buddy. You've gotten good at this. On days 71 to 74, Willy and I had reached a snowy taiga biome when suddenly we were attacked by a polar bear. I had just upgraded all of my gear, so the polar bear didn't really stand a chance against me. Together, we defeated him easily. Yeah, that was so easy. Suddenly, a bunch of polar bears came running out. Oh, this is not easy. The polar bears were really mad at us, and we were taking a lot of hits. This situation was all too familiar, and I suddenly lost another one of my lives. Oh no, only 3 left now. I had lost another life, but we had made good progress, and together, we were able to take out the last of the polar bears. It helped that Willy was now a full-grown wolf. We soon found a cave and settled in out of the cold. Thanks for coming along with me, Willy. I thought all wolves were bad, but you've shown me that's not the truth. Willy didn't say anything and started walking around in circles. It was kind of strange, but maybe he just wasn't comfortable expressing his feelings. It was getting pretty cold when Willy set out a campfire. Oh, just in time. We both settled in for the night. On days 75 to 78, Willy and I reached the snowy fortress deep in the taiga. This must be where the claws are. We entered the fort, but as we walked through, I couldn't help but notice the place seemed empty. There might have been a battle here long ago, but there was definitely no one here now. As we entered another section, the doors closed behind us. Oh no, it must be a trap. Get ready, Willy. That's when I realized it wasn't an enemy who set the trap. It was Willy.
I'm sorry, Zozo, but I can't resist my natural instincts. I tried, but cats are just too delicious.
What are you saying? Come on, we're friends.
I have a lot of respect for you. I didn't know a cat could be this strong. But I have to do this. And once you're gone, I'm going to lead the pack to all the other cats in the base.
Willy, get a hold of yourself. This isn't the right way.
I'm sorry, Zozo, but it's the end.
And just like that, we began to fight. Willy had gotten really strong, and his blows really hurt. I couldn't believe his instincts were this powerful. Please, Willy, it doesn't have to be like this. But it was too late. He was done talking, and I could see his wolf instincts had completely taken over. He kept swinging at me and managed to take another one of my lives. Ugh, only 2 left. I hurried and climbed up some trees, making my way to the top of the ruins. From there, I started firing arrows, landing some blows. Willy ran around, trying to avoid my arrows. It was making him really mad. I wasn't going to be able to finish it this way, though. I had to land a blow up close. I hurried and climbed higher into the ruins, firing arrows as I went.
Get back down here!
I climbed out the side of the ruins as Willy continued to look up where I was before. I snuck up behind him and delivered a sneak attack. It was just a few hits more, and he was finally defeated. Willy, why? I'm sorry it had to come to this. I ran outside and picked a flower. I carried it back inside and laid it where Willy had disappeared. I'll see you in the next life, my friend. On days 79 to 84, I was feeling really sad about the loss of Willy. I couldn't help but think though, Willy was super strong, and he was just a regular wolf. What chance did I have against the wolf monster? That's when I remembered Delilah the elephant could help. I traveled back to the savannah, and just in time too. Up ahead, I could see Delilah had been captured by poachers. You thugs, get away from my friend! I charged in as the poachers turned to fight. I had no time for these punks, and I had to save my friend. There was no way I was going to lose 2 friends in such a short amount of time. I was way stronger than the last time we had fought poachers, and so at long last, I took them all out.
Oh, Zozo, you showed up just in time. I don't know where I'd be without you. Or well, I guess I do. I'd be dead.
You mustn't talk like that, but I was hoping you could help me with something.
Oh sure, anything.
I need to defeat the wolf monster still, but I'm wondering if there are any special items out there that could help me. Could you take a look? Delilah agreed and took a look into some nearby water.
Okay, I can see the nether. There's a huge fortress there. And inside, oh, there's some claws. They look like they're strong enough to rip through wolf skin.
So those claws are real. Do you know how I can get there?
It's showing me a path to the nether portal. It's actually not that far from your base.
Wow, that's great news. I'll have to go get them. But before I do, are you sure you still don't want to live at my base? There's so many poachers out here.
Oh, I've definitely changed my mind. I would love to live there.
Delilah and I headed back toward my base. As we got closer, she caught sight of my statue.
An elephant. I love it. It reminds me of my grandma. I miss her so much.
I wish I could have met her. I'm almost finished with that statue too. Just one more part to go, but I think you'll think it's pretty cool. From there, I got right to work building Delilah her own room at the base. The poor girl kept getting attacked, so I was glad she decided to come and live at the base with us. Her room was going to be at the top, so she was definitely going to be safe. Soon, her room was complete. Here you go. I really hope you like it here. Delilah assured me she would, and she especially loved the view out of her window. On days 85 to 89, I headed straight for the nether portal. I had to get those claws. Oh no, it looks totally destroyed. Hopefully there's some more obsidian in this chest. I opened the chest and luckily, there was everything I needed. Someone must have been here before. Just then, a snapping turtle came walking right over the chest and attacked. Ah, you're so slow and creepy. He wasn't very strong and I took him out quickly. Then another animal attacked me out of nowhere. This guy wasn't strong either and I took him out too. Alright, enough. Let's do this. I quickly fixed up the portal, replacing all the missing obsidian blocks. I stepped into the portal and was teleported to the nether. I stepped out into a soul sand valley and could see a few endermen roaming around. As long as I don't look at them, I should be good. But as I got closer, they turned and started to attack me. I guess they just really wanted me to stay away. Once I had taken them out, I took a look at my surroundings. That's when I noticed some ancient debris in the wall. Oh yeah, I can make some netherite gear with this. I mined out the debris and stored it away for later. It was time to explore. I took off into the nether, traveling across dangerous terrain and fighting off endermen. I found some more ancient debris too. There were also some ghasts that showed up, but I was able to take care of them with my bow. Soon, I saw it in the distance, the fortress from Delilah's vision. There it is! I just need to get across this lava, and the claws will be mine! I started jumping across the broken path, being sure not to fall into the lava. As I entered the fortress, I was suddenly attacked by a hellhound and a couple wither skeletons. I should have known something would be waiting for me. I tried to climb up some platforms as quickly as I could, and started taking them out with my bow. The wither skeletons were getting too close for comfort, but luckily I was able to take them down. Now it's your turn! I jumped down and started swinging my sword, showing the hellhound who was boss. Even the dogs in a different dimension are mean. I kept swinging my sword, and finally took the hellhound out. That was a tough fight. He destroyed most of my armor. But the important thing was that I had won. I went over to the chest and took a look inside. There was tons of loot, and most important, the claws were inside. I can't believe it, I got them! I took out the claws and equipped them. That's when I felt the energy surge through me, and I grew into a huge, super buff cat. Whoa, I'm extremely ripped, and I have way more hearts. It was time to take the fight to the wolf. On days 90 to 94, I returned to the base to see all of my new friends. It was quite the sight to see everyone so happy. We had all been affected by the wolf monster in one way or another, and it was great to see that despite it all, we had all found a place to call home. I was too big to fit in the door now, so I knocked out a space and grabbed some supplies out of a chest. Then I made myself a fancy new moving door. Ah yes, this will work perfectly. Now that I had a functioning door, I took the ancient debris I had collected and smelted it into some netherite scraps. Then I took some of the diamonds I had collected and made an entire set of diamond armor. Now I'll need a smithing table. I got the smithing table put together and then combined the netherite scraps with some gold bars to make some netherite ingots. Using the new ingots, I was able to then convert all my diamond gear into netherite. Now let's finish the statue. I headed outside and finished putting all of the details on the elephant. I thought it looked really nice and I was glad that it reminded Delilah of her grandma. Well, what do you think? Is this your favorite build I've done so far, or did you like another one more? With the statue complete, it was time to say goodbye. I met with all of my friends outside. Thanks for all of your support, guys. I'm going to go fight the wolf, but I'm still not sure how I'm going to beat him.
I was thinking about it, and didn't you say that crazy cat lady threw a potion at you that knocked you out? Maybe she had other potions that could come in handy for your fight.
Oh, that's a great idea. I'll have to go stop by there and see what I can find.
Good luck, Zozo. I know you'll make us all proud.
The rest of the animals chimed in. I never could have done it without all of their support. Time to get that wolf. On days 95 to 97, I arrived back at the cat lady's house. Alright, let's see what's going on in here. I ran up to the house to get inside. As I tried to take a look around, I realized I was too big for the doors, so I knocked out the walls to make myself some space. Something tells me she's not gonna mind. As I checked around the house, I eventually opened up her bedside table and found a bunch of blindness potions. No wonder she always had these on her. The lady literally slept next to them, but these will help in a fight. With the potions in my pockets, I headed off toward the wolf monster's base. I soon reached a snowy area and could hear the howling of wolves in the distance. But this time, I wasn't running. This time, I was heading straight for them.
Hey, you boys, check out this cat. He thinks he's real tough walking into our land like this.
Your pride will be the end of you. I'm gonna take down your entire pack.
Oh, cry me a hairball, fuzzbag. Bring it on.
We lunged at each other and started swinging. These guys thought I was weak because I was a cat, but they quickly found out I was super strong. I could tell they were scared, and soon, only one of them was left.
You're no cat, you're a freak. Just wait until the boss hears about this.
The last wolf ran off to tell his boss. Yeah, not even a warning is going to save him from me. The wolf wasn't very smart though. He was leading me right to their base. Soon enough, I saw a large fortress in the distance. This must be it. I walked up and started to explore. I could feel something behind me. I turned around and saw there was a huge sub behind me. Quick, subscribe to the channel. We must win this fight. On day 98, I charged into the base and was immediately attacked by some wolves. Out of the way, you mangy mutts! I swung my massive arms and knocked the wolves out. With my strength, these guys were a breeze. Soon, the room had been cleared. That's when I noticed something horrible. Is that what I think it is? On the stairs, there was a mounted animal head. These guys were a bunch of sickos. They had to be stopped. In the next room, there were even more wolves. Get a load of this, chumps! I smacked the wolves as they crumpled beneath my blows. They were able to get some hits in, but they were no match. No one was going to stop me from reaching my goal. Once they were all destroyed, I noticed what was on the table. More animal heads. I won't let them add any more. As I left the room, I noticed a button on a nearby wall. I hit it and a wall opened, revealing a storage room. Oh, nice. I bet there's something good in here. I started opening up chests and found a lot of gold, including some golden apples. Then I saw something out of the ordinary. There's warnings on this chest. Must be something good in here. I opened the chest and saw it had several potions of leaping. That would surely give me an advantage in the fight. Now I just had to find the monster. On day 99, I wandered through the halls and eventually walked into the Great Hall. The wolf monster was seated on a golden throne.
Oh, what is this? A cat walking right into my house? Who do you think you are?
You know who I am. You destroyed my entire group of friends.
Yeah, you'll have to be more specific. I do it all the time. It's literally all I do.
I'm Zozo.
Oh, Zozo. Yeah, I still don't know who you are.
It doesn't matter. Today is the day I take my revenge.
Yeah, get this cat out of my sight.
Suddenly, the wolves around the table charged. He might not know who I am, but he was about to find out. I knocked out his wolves in no time.
I always knew I was surrounded by a bunch of weaklings. I'll do this myself.
The wolf monster charged at me. The fight had begun. This was ending today. He was still strong and was really knocking me down. I ran away to try to get some space, eating some food to heal.
Get over here, you little cat.
I tried fighting him as I went, getting hits in here and there. I soon made it up a set of stairs, turning in time to start firing down arrows at the wolf monster.
Oh, knock it off!
I kept firing arrows until he had reached me. He kept hitting me, and eventually I saw my life counter appear again. I only had one life left. I had to make it count. I kept running through the castle, trying to play it safe. Every now and then he would catch up, and I would swing my claws to knock him back. Some of his wolves even tried to jump into the fight, but I was able to knock them away. My health was starting to get really low though. Alright, let's see what he thinks of this. I took out one of my blinding potions and managed to hit him.
Oh, I can't see. What did you do?
The wolf ran off as I hurried and ducked for cover. I was safe for a moment, so I hurried and ate a golden apple. I had been getting hits in, but it didn't seem to be enough. It was time to try something new. I could hear the wolf in the hallway up ahead, so I snuck up behind him and smacked him. Surprise!
Oh, you sneaky little cat.
We exchanged some more blows, and I ran off, making more space. I was really starting to hurt him now. Just then, we ran into a room with a couple of his wolf cronies.
Get this guy off my back!
I thought wolves didn't run away from anything. As I went back out to fight, I saw the wolf had disappeared. Where did he go? I kept searching around the place until I ran into a strange sign. Place sacrificial heads. Oh, I don't love that, but maybe it could help me. I ran around the palace and gathered up a few of the animal heads. Then I placed them on the altar. Suddenly, a hidden door opened, and the wolf monster was hiding on the other side. There he is! I ran up to face him. Give it up, man, you can't beat me! The wolf shook his head. He wasn't gonna go down easily. We charged as his sidekicks attacked. It was an epic battle, but they were no match for me. I even tried using the leaping potions, which helped me to get to higher ground and use my bow. This is for everyone you've hurt! I swung my claws, hitting him again and again. He wasn't even sorry for what he had done. At long last, I swung my claws, destroying him for good. Goodbye! The wolf was finally gone. Now we could all live our lives in peace. On day 100, I made it back to the base. All of my friends were there to greet me, and I couldn't believe the fight was done. We were finally free from danger. The world was once again a place of peace. On day 1, I spawned in as a fire spider. Oh cool, I got 8 legs and 4 hearts. But whoa, I'm not a regular spider. I'm a fire spider. That means I have to avoid water no matter what. I should probably look around. I started testing out my new abilities. I can jump high, run super fast, and climb up walls. Woohoo! Just as I was jumping from tree to tree, a swarm of tarantula hawks started to attack. Ah, where did you come from? Quickly, I jumped off of the tree and started running away. But these guys were fast. They even took out some of my hearts. Ouch, I need those! Realizing that I couldn't outrun these guys forever, I decided I needed to fight. I wonder if I have something that could help me fight these tarantula hawks. Just then, I looked into my inventory and saw I had an item, Web Shot. Throw at your enemies to attack or stun them. This should work! Quickly, I put this ability into effect and started throwing webs at the tarantula hawks. Whoa, this is awesome! I managed to bring down several of the tarantula hawks with my Web Shot until there was only one left. He quickly fled before I could take him down. Ha! And stay out, you flying fiend! I proceeded to look around a little more before I decided to call it a night. On day 2, I woke up hungry and decided to make my first web. I placed it in the tree and waited. Soon, I caught a fly. Tasty. Then I went and took a look around. I stumbled upon a hole in the ground and decided to check it out. Maybe I can find some more fire spiders here. Well, I couldn't find any more fire spiders. I managed to find some stone, but I couldn't mine it because it required tools. I better go get some resources. Just as I was about to leave, a bunch of badgers started to attack. Hey, what's the big deal? These guys were tough, but I managed to fling web shots at them and managed to defeat them. They dropped some loot in the process. I picked up a stone pickaxe and sword. Oh, these will come in handy. With the pickaxe, I mined the stone and even found some iron that I could use for later. Wow, this hole is great! After checking to make sure there were no more badgers, I decided to set up camp in the hole. After clearing out some space, I set up a little place for myself, and even started to build other houses, just in case some more spiders were to come. On day 3, I climbed out of the hole and started gathering wood from the surrounding trees. Just as I was about to bring down one of the trees, I heard a noise.
Hey, stop that down there!
Suddenly, a pigeon flew down from the top.
What do you think you are doing?
Oh, sorry, I didn't know anyone was living in this tree.
Well, there is. You can't just go around destroying everything you see like some kind of barbarian.
I didn't mean any harm, I promise. He sighed.
Just be careful next time.
Just as the pigeon was talking, a falcon came out of nowhere and started to attack.
Oh no, not this guy. You better run, little fire spider.
Instead, I used my web to attack the falcon and knock him out of the sky.
Oh, thank you so much. That falcon has been attacking me and my friends for a long time.
You're most welcome. I'm always looking for ways I can help. Why was he attacking you?
He is a servant of the Lizard King, the evil ruler who enslaves animals with fear.
Oh no, that's terrible. This Lizard King sounds like he's a real handful to deal with.
My name is Percy, and I would be happy to help you with anything you need.
Thank you, I could use help. You know, I have a place that you and your friends can stay to keep away from falcons. It's underground and I'm still building it. Would you like to come?
Most of the time, pigeons don't like living underground, but that sounds like the safe idea.
On days 4 and 5, I helped Percy put together some houses for him and his friends.
This place is going to look great, Zozo. A safe haven away from the Lizard King.
You're right. I'm gonna have to see if I can get more critters out of danger. I also don't know where any fire spiders are.
Well, in the meantime, I will stay here and continue working. Before you go, I wanted to give you this.
Percy gave me some iron armor and a sword, made from the iron I had found earlier.
I thought it best for your journey. Take care, my fiery spider friend.
Thanks, Percy. I will return. Soon I was off to find the Lizard King, when all of a sudden, the tarantula hawk I fought on the first day returned with even more of his friends.
We shall have our revenge on you.
They all started swarming me with their stingers. Ouch, leave me alone! With the new sword, I managed to defeat most of the tarantula hawks, but the main tarantula hawk was heading right for me.
I will defeat you and take you to the Lizard King myself.
He was tougher to beat than the other tarantula hawks. I even took some damage from him. You may be strong, but I won't be defeated. Dodging his blows with my speed and jumping ability, I kept on striking him until at last he was defeated. As he disappeared, he dropped some bronze armor as well as a beaker of poison. If I'm going to come in contact with any more of the Lizard King's minions, I'm gonna need this. On days 6 through 8, I continued my journey to find the Lizard King. Along the way, I managed to find a village. Hello, anyone here? I went through all the buildings, gathering supplies where I could find them, but could not find anyone. How could an entire village just vanish like this? I started hearing what sounded like voices from one of the center buildings. Maybe there are some villagers still here. After following the voices, I discovered who was in the building. It was the Lizard King. He had on a huge crown and had big red eyes. Yikes, those are gonna haunt my nightmares. Gathering up what courage I had, I charged towards the Lizard King. Hey, why are you being so cruel to all the creatures of this land? They just want to live peaceful lives, free from bullies like you. The Lizard King looked at me with those red eyes.
The tiny fire spider who defeated my tarantula hawks. You will pay for your actions. Attack!
Then all of a sudden, the floor started shaking, and from out of the ground spawned a giant desert centipede. Uh-oh, this could be bad. The centipede was strong, it had over 20 hearts, and it was quick. It's a good thing I can jump and climb, or this thing would surely take me out. Then I remembered I had the beaker of poison and prepared to use it on the centipede. Just as I was about to use it, the centipede attacked and knocked the beaker out of my hand, shattering on the floor. Oh no! The centipede grabbed onto me, shaking me around with its mandibles and shaking the hearts out of me. This is not good. Just as I was about to lose my last heart, the Lizard King commanded he let me go.
That's enough. I still need subjects to rule. You really thought you could defeat me? Ha! Come back again when you are worthy.
That fight did a lot of damage to me, and all of a sudden, I blacked out. On days 9 and 10, I awoke to a different location. It looked like one of the houses in the village, only it was really damaged and there were webs on the walls. Ah, spiders! Oh, wait, I'm a spider too. I climbed around the damaged house to see if any more spiders were around. Hello? Any other spiders around here? Regular or fire type? Any will do. Or anyone? Preferably ones who don't want to squish me? I looked around a little more, and eventually I spotted what appeared to be a small, normal spider. Hey, where am I?
Oh good, you're awake. It's good to see you up.
Where's the Lizard King? Where's the centipede?
You fought the Lizard King and his centipede? It's a miracle you're still alive. When I found you, they were both gone. I was really worried you weren't going to wake up, but couldn't not help a spider in need. We brought you here to look after you.
We? Who's we?
Well, me and my brothers and sisters.
Brothers and sisters? There's more of you?
Oh yes, at least 700. We live in dark, shadowy areas near here, under the protection of Daddy Longlegs. Would you like to meet him?
Sure. Oh, and what's your name?
Marcy, I'm a jumping spider.
Indeed. Lead the way, Marcy. On days 11 to 12, Marcy led me to a secret passageway where we climbed down into a dark hall. Through the hall, we came upon the cave of Daddy Longlegs. It was surrounded by several different spiders of all different types and sizes.
Daddy Longlegs, here's the fire spider who fought the centipede. He is healed and wishes to meet with you.
Proceed, good spider.
I am Zozo, and I come to help fight against the evil of the Lizard King.
You are indeed brave, Zozo, but I am afraid the Lizard King cannot be defeated.
What do you mean? How can he not be defeated?
He controls the predators of the animal kingdom, forcing us spiders to live underground. Any attempt we have tried to fight against him, he takes out numbers of us. I'm afraid it's too risky for our survival.
I understand your concern, Daddy Longlegs, but we cannot keep living in fear. Someone has to do something. If nobody else will, then I will. But I know together we can do better, be stronger. Some of us might be squashed in a moment, but surely he can't stop all of us. Then I could hear Marcy cheering from the back.
Huzzah! Huzzah!
Her cheering led to all the other spiders starting to cheer as well. Huzzah! Daddy Longlegs looked convinced and agreed to help me.
All right, Zozo, you have made your point. I will send some spiders to help you on your journey. Perhaps we truly can defeat the Lizard King.
3 spiders volunteered to help me on my quest. First was Taylor, a massive tarantula.
Yeah, dude.
Then there was Bruno, an orb-weaving spider.
Do you need a web? I got a web. It's a nice web. Did I tell you about my web?
This guy really likes his web.
Yeah, man.
Finally, there was Scarlet. She was a black widow.
I can turn anyone's life into a tragedy.
Well, I hope that will come in handy for us. Nice to meet all of you. Together, let's take this guy down. On days 13 to 15, we arrived back at my hole base. I didn't know how Percy and his friends were going to take there being more spiders, so I proceeded with caution.
Hello, Zozo.
Hey, Percy. Wow, you got a lot of work done. This base is looking even better than I thought it could.
Thanks. I managed to convince some other birds and animals to come make this their new home.
You've done great. Hey, I wanted to tell you something.
Sure. What is... Oh, more spiders! What the... What are these animals doing here?
They look tasty to me.
Yeah, dude.
Before this tension was to become a battle, I had to calm down both sides. Listen, in order for us to defeat the Lizard King, we must stay strong together, no matter what species we are. Also, no eating the birds.
Yeah.
All right, sorry.
After that was over, I managed to get everyone working together to create a giant statue of our hero. I hoped it could be seen as a symbol of justice and goodness for all walks of life. Can you tell what we're building? On days 16 to 19, I got a chance to meet all the new members of the base. Hey, how are you? Good to see ya. Welcome. I even ran into some unexpected guests. Oh no, the badgers again!
Wait, we're sorry for attacking you earlier. We just didn't have any other place to go. We saw how you built this place, and your friend Percy said it was okay for us to stay.
So wait, we're all on the same team?
Yep, we're also really sorry for attacking you earlier.
It's alright. I guess I can understand you being scared of someone trying to harm you. Welcome to the base. I have said that no matter our differences, we've got to work together to defeat the Lizard King.
Thank you.
Just as I was going around meeting new people, I saw Marcy run in looking for me.
I am delivering gifts for you for your journey. These are from Daddy Longlegs.
Marcy presented me with a new silver armor and sword with a special ability, Poisonous Attack. What would I do without you and Daddy Longlegs? This will be great for my journey. Thanks, Marcy.
You're welcome. Say, this place is pretty nice. Do you think I can tell the other spiders about it?
Sure, it's not quite finished though, but maybe when I'm done you guys can come see it. There's a lot of you, so I've got to make sure everyone is really impressed.
Deal.
On days 20 to 22, Taylor, Bruno, Scarlet, and I were off to catch the Lizard King. On the road, Scarlet spotted some signs up ahead.
We should be careful. It looks like we are entering into the realm of the ants.
Ants? Are they dangerous?
They attack in numbers and can overwhelm any creature bigger than they are.
Even someone like Taylor?
Yeah, dude.
Well, then we will definitely be cautious. I can't imagine anything worse than being dogpiled by a bunch of creepy crawlers. We scoured around for a bit, when all of a sudden a giant zombie praying mantis arose from under the ground. Gosh, he must have been attacked by the ants. Those guys are vicious.
Yeah, now we gotta put him out of his misery.
Bruno started making a web net to trap the praying mantis in, and Taylor threw it over to the mantis, trapping him.
I think we got him.
Just then, the mantis started tearing his way through the web net. Don't worry, guys, I got this. I jumped toward the praying mantis and started using my new sword. Say your prayers now, mantis. Within a few strikes, he was finally defeated, and I felt something inside me start to change. I increased in size and even had more hearts. My attacks felt stronger too, infused with even more fiery goodness. On days 23 to 26, we finally got to the anthill. We need to be cautious. The ants could attack if we are spotted. And I don't know about you guys, but I'm not interested in becoming a zombie fire spider today. Just then, a fireball flew overhead. It was the ant guards, and they were shooting at us with trebuchets. Oh, talk about fire ants! All of a sudden, Bruno started working on what appeared to be a giant slingshot. Oh, great idea! Scarlet had some TNT, as well as some flint and steel. We decided that would work perfectly for returning fire.
Bombs away.
We took out the trebuchet and sent the ants running into their hill. Way to go, team! On days 27 to 31, we decided to go inside the hill. Wow, these guys have been busy. Inside, we found a lot of cool items that I could use for the compound and the statue. Glowstones, I can use these. As we journeyed deeper into the caves, we saw a hidden message on the wall. Subscribe? That's not a bad idea, honestly.
Yeah, dude.
A little further, and we began to see what appeared to be a story by the ants.
Apparently, the Queen Ant was tricked by the Lizard King, and now he has a puppet queen acting for him.
That's terrible. These ants should not be under the control of a puppet ruler. We need to do something. All of a sudden, something occurred. Ants began to crawl out from the walls. Get back! I mean it! No matter how hard we fought, the ants were too numerous, and they captured us. On days 32 to 35, the ants led us to the deeper parts of the anthill. Where are you taking us? I kept trying to talk to them, but they would not respond. It was as if something was wrong with them completely. Hello, can you hear me? Eventually, we came to what I suppose is their throne room. The Queen Ant sat there looking sinister.
Spiders? How disgusting. You will make a fine specimen for the Lizard King. Though my children and I are getting hungry.
I'm getting pretty tired of creatures telling me they want to eat me. How about I give you something to eat instead? I looked up and I could see what looked like a chandelier made of glowstones. I fired a web shot at it and the whole thing started to come crashing down.
No, not the chandelier.
I fell hard onto the Queen Ant, squishing her.
Whoa, what a way to go.
On days 36 to 39, we began leaving the hill. The hill was even bigger than I remembered, as we wove through many different hallways. We got lost more than once. Man, how can one place look the same at every turn? When we finally decided on a place to go, more ants came toward us. If we couldn't get out, we'd be in real trouble. Stay back, we're armed!
Well, technically legged.
No, please don't hurt us, and we don't want to hurt you.
Okay, well then what is it you do want?
We are servants of the true Queen Ant. When you defeated the other queen, we finally freed her, and she wanted to thank you.
Well, that's very nice of her. I'm glad she's back on her throne.
Feel free to come back anytime. If you have any questions, please let me know.
I did have one question. How do we get out?
Oh, right. You go up, make a left, and climb out of the big hole in the top.
Okay, that seems simple enough. Thanks.
No problem. You can climb, right?
Spider.
Oh, right.
On days 40 to 43, we thought it would be best to get back to the compound and put these glowstones to good use. Percy was doing a great job building places for the new creatures finding out about this place.
If there is one thing we birds know, it is how to make a nest to come home to.
You're doing great, Percy. I also thought these could come in handy.
Glowstones, excellent. It was starting to look a little dark here.
Right away, we got to work using the glowstones to create light fixtures around the compound. I also made sure that these were built strong enough so that no one could get hurt if they were damaged.
The last thing we'd want is for there to be another queen ant situation. No one likes to get smushed.
When a spider builds something, it is made to last.
Also, when birds, badgers, and other wildlife chip in on the building, it definitely helps in the long run.
On days 44 to 50, I continued working on the statue. I'm really excited about this one and feel like it's coming along really well. Can you tell what the statue is yet?
All of a sudden, I could see a little jumping creature appearing in the horizon. Marcy, it's good to see you.
Oh, Zozo, I'm glad I found you. I have terrible news.
Oh no, what's the problem?
The Lizard King attacked the spider base with an army of scorpions.
Scorpions? Really?
Yes, they are one of our biggest enemies.
That's terrible. I'm so sorry. I really didn't think he'd be bold enough to take on the entire spider nest at one time. I'm sorry I couldn't have stopped him from doing this.
So am I. I wanted to tell you so you won't have to have the same fate. Now we have nowhere safe.
Wait a minute, why don't you all come live at my base?
Wait, really? Are you sure you won't mind all of us living with you?
Of course not. Besides, us spiders need to stick together. Plus, I've got plenty of room here. There's no limit to the amount of houses we can make for everyone.
Ha! I see what you did there. I better go tell the other spiders right now.
Quickly, I got started gathering more materials and supplies to start building for my new neighbors. I took a good long while to gather the stuff and start building, but it was all worth it. On days 51 to 53, all of the spiders arrived. Whoa, there sure are a lot of you. Welcome. Among the spiders appeared Daddy Longlegs, and I went over to greet him. Hi, Daddy Longlegs. I'm glad to see you're all right. You're all welcome here.
Thank you, Zozo, for doing this. You have given the spiders and many others hope.
It was my pleasure. The spiders sure are honored and lucky to have a protector like you.
Oh no, Zozo. I may have been their protector before, but you are their protector now. However, if you need advice, I will always be around.
I will definitely appreciate that. I know you've seen a lot of spiders in your day. I'd never be able to lead anyone as well as you have. Afterwards, I introduced Daddy Longlegs and the other spiders to the rest of the compound. They got along pretty well. I loved seeing everyone so happy to make new friends.
On days 54 to 57, the whole compound got together to start building walls so no intruders could come in. When most of the building was completed, we decided we should celebrate the new compound community. Daddy Longlegs prepared to give a speech.
I am truly thankful that we can all live in harmony, thanks to our magnificent friend, Zozo.
Oh, guys, I appreciate that. While Daddy Longlegs kept speaking, no one noticed a group of scorpions sneaking up behind him. Daddy Longlegs, look out! But he didn't hear me, and one of the scorpions stabbed him in the back with a stinger.
Oh no, Daddy Longlegs!
The spiders began attacking the scorpions while I tried to lead Daddy Longlegs to safety. Just stay here, you're gonna be fine.
No, Zozo, it's time for me to go.
What? You can't go, it's not over yet.
It's okay, Zozo. Take care of them all for me.
I will. I stayed with Daddy Longlegs until the end. When I checked back, the spiders won the battle. Sadly, it was up to me to share the sad news. On days 58 to 62, the whole compound worked together to build a memorial for Daddy Longlegs. Rest in peace, Daddy Longlegs. You will be missed by us all. I promise I will do what needs to be done. While we were sad at the loss of our friend, we all realized we needed better fortifications. We spent a good portion of the days building up the walls and putting up watchtowers.
I was so embarrassed that we were attacked when we thought we were safe.
They should protect us, but I just wish I could have done more.
Don't go blaming yourself, Zozo. Nobody could have guessed what was going to happen.
To take my mind off of all of this, I went back to finish the statue. Maybe this could give us some more hope. Now can you tell who our spider hero is? It's the most famous web slinger of all time, Spider-Man, of course. Just as I completed it, Scarlet showed up and told me a messenger came to see me. We ran to the gate to see it was the ant from the anthill. Hello, what are you doing here?
We heard about your attack. We are sorry for your loss.
Thank you. It has been hard for a lot of us.
Our queen wanted to give you something for your loss, as well as your fight against the Lizard King.
The ant handed over a wrapped gift and told me to use it wisely. I couldn't wait to see what it was.
I will definitely treasure this. Thank you, and thank your queen for me.
I shall, and you are most welcome.
On days 63 to 66, I opened the package to reveal a bunch of potions. Inside there was a health upgrade potion. I took it right away, and I gained 8 more hearts. I took a look at the other potions. Stinger Shock, can cause your enemy to be paralyzed and allow you to either heal or attack. Boy, if I ever run into that centipede again, I am gonna use this. I met with my friends and told them that this would be my final mission.
Be careful, Zozo.
I will. I promise to return. We have lost too many friends for me to fail.
Good luck, Zozo. Go end this monster, once and for all.
Yeah, dude.
I said goodbye to my friends, and then I was off. All I could do was hope that I would see them again soon.
On day 67 through 70, I journeyed off to find the Palace of the Lizard King. I first traveled toward the abandoned village where I first fought the centipede. I don't see him anywhere here. While I continued to look around, I spotted what appeared to be an ancient door. I wonder how long this has been here for. There was an inscription on the door that looked a little faded. I will with water when it rains. When sunlight comes, the water drains. To climb me is to achieve great gains. I quickly realized that it was a riddle and began putting it together. I got it! A water spout! The answer is a water spout! With this proclamation of the answer, the door cracked open to reveal a chest inside. I opened the box to show a full set of diamond armor and sword. I quickly put them to good use. Yeah, dude. I think I've been hanging out with Taylor a bit too much. On days 71 through 74, I traveled into the rainforest. Just as I was scurrying along the ground, a group of howler monkeys started throwing bananas at me. Oh, whoa! At least it's just bananas. One of the monkeys was huge. He must have been their leader. I started throwing web shots at him, trying to knock him out of the tree. You are not defeating me today! I managed to knock several monkeys out of the trees, forcing them to run away. The big monkey was the only one left. You might be strong, but you won't get me. With one last web shot, I knocked the monkey out of the tree and cornered him. Where is the Lizard King? Where is his palace? The big monkey gestured over in a direction. Afterwards, I went off that way. You know, that monkey looked kind of familiar. Yeah, it was probably nothing. On day 75 to 78, I journeyed along until I came to a river. Uh-oh, it's my old nemesis, water. The river was way too wide to try and jump, and I didn't want to risk falling in, so I decided to build a bridge. I was halfway finished when out of nowhere, who was to turn up but the scorpions again. You guys, I'll make you pay for what you have done. I readied my sword and prepared to attack. This is for Daddy Longlegs. I charged at the scorpions and they leaped forward to attack me. They were strong, and I could tell they were trying to push me back into the water, but with my new armor, I could hold them off. I'll take you all on if I need to. Then I remembered I had the potion and quickly used it against the scorpions. Take this! The scorpions began to move slower, and I could see their attacks before they could make them. Block, stab, slice, gone! One by one, I took out each of the scorpions. I gathered a new item, Scorpion Tail, used to attack or intimidate enemies. Also, it can be used as a disguise. When all that was over, I continued making my bridge to get across the river. On day 79 to 85, I finally finished my bridge to cross the river. When I got to the other side, I found that the only way ahead was through a narrow ravine, but the entrance was guarded by 2 scorpions. Man, these guys are everywhere! While I could have attacked them, I remembered that I still had that scorpion tail in my belongings. I quickly put it on and approached them. La 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 la, just a disgusting scorpion out for a stroll. The guards didn't seem to mind and proceeded to let me through. Well, that was easy. While journeying, I wandered into an open field that looked pretty desert-like. Well, this is a weird place to put a desert. All of a sudden, I heard rumbling and could feel the ground shake. I knew right then what it was. Suddenly, the centipede bursted out of the ground, just like last time, and lunged toward me.
It was time to take my revenge.
Bring it on, leggy. That centipede was still fast and dangerous, but I was much more confident this time around. Oh, no you don't. I even used the scorpion tail to make a couple of hits, but it broke in the middle of the fight.
So much for disguising myself again in the future.
Take that, and that! Finally, I took out the potion again and used it for the finishing blows. I'm worthy enough this time. Prepare to be defeated. The potion worked, but the centipede was still quick. Furiously, I used everything I could to finally defeat it. Just then, I started feeling tingly. Ooh, I like this. I changed into a bigger and more powerful fire spider with even more hearts. All right now, Lizard King, prepare to meet your match. On days 86 to 90, I continued on my journey. I was feeling really confident until I realized I had just walked straight into quicksand. Oh, come on, who thinks of quicksand? Suddenly, I started thinking of ways to get out. All of a sudden, I could see Percy flying overhead. Percy, I'm glad you're here.
I can see that. How can I help?
Maybe you can pull me out, catch this chain, and start flying.
Good idea. Hit me.
I threw the line towards Percy and began flying, pulling me out of the quicksand. Oh, that was close. Thanks, Percy. What are you doing here?
I wanted to see how you were. You saved my life so many times before, and I guess I just wanted to repay you in some way.
Well, you definitely did that. If it wasn't for you, I would be in a really sticky situation.
It can get risky at times, wandering around out here on my own.
You are definitely welcome, my friend. I will let the others know of your progress.
Just before he left, Percy warned me about something he saw while flying overhead.
Be careful. I saw what appeared to be a gang of bullfrogs coming in your direction. They must be heading to the palace of the Lizard King.
Bullfrogs, you say? Those things will gobble spiders up in one bite.
I'll be sure to look out for them. Thanks again, Percy. Take care. On days 91 to 94, I finally ran into the bullfrogs.
Wow, those guys are big. I didn't know bullfrogs could get that big.
For the most part, they didn't seem to notice me. That's until one of them apparently spotted me and started shooting his tongue at me. Yuck! I don't need you tasting me.
He was strong though. He even took out a couple of my hearts. If I didn't make a move, I was going to be one toasted bug.
I can't just keep fighting this guy forever. I knew I had to outmaneuver him, so I jumped into a tree and waited for him to get bored.
Luckily, he didn't seem to be the smartest of creatures, even though he was so tough.
Serves you right. I didn't come this far to become a spider snack.
On days 95 to 97, I followed the bullfrogs to the Lizard King's palace. They might have been strong, but they weren't very smart. They led me right to where I needed to go.
Wow, this is gonna be a lot. As I got closer to the gate, I spotted a message written on the palace roof. Subscribe. Oh yeah, that reminds me. Be sure to subscribe and like this video for more content. I go on a lot of adventures and would love to have you follow me on them. I tried to get through the front gate when a horde of gecko soldiers started to attack. Out of my way. I got a king to fight.
I smacked the heck out of them until finally they were all defeated. This guy really loved his amphibians.
On day 98, I ran inside through the palace corridors to find the Lizard King. Wow, this place is pretty ornate for a lizard. Hey, that armor looks kind of familiar. Oh yeah, I almost forgot that I had an adventure as a knight. That was a journey. You guys should definitely go check it out when you are done with this one. Through different rooms, I would occasionally have to battle some of the gecko soldiers. Don't you guys have anything better to do? Despite looking all throughout the palace, I couldn't seem to find the Lizard King anywhere. I was getting disappointed and even losing a little bit of hope. I turned around and I could see what appeared to be the ghost of a long-legged spider. Daddy Longlegs? Is that you?
Yes, Zozo, it is I. I told you that I would always be there to help you. Don't give up. You are so close to the end.
You're right, Daddy Longlegs. I must continue. I'm scared though. I'm just a fire spider, and I don't know if I'll defeat the Lizard King.
You may be small, but you have the spirit of a giant spider inside of you, and it's time to let that spirit out. I'm going to grant you the power that made me so big.
Something started to happen. Magic energy filled the room, and I felt myself changing once again. I transformed into a gigantic fire spider. I had so many hearts now. Thanks, Daddy Longlegs. On day 99, I finally landed in the throne room. The Lizard King sat on his throne with his big red eyes staring at me.
Well, well, if it isn't the itsy-bitsy fire spider who defeated my minions. Looks like you aren't so small now, but I bet you're still weak. Come to face me at last?
I will do what I must.
Then you will croak.
Just then, he flipped a lever, and the bullfrogs I had seen earlier came in. Oh no, not these guys again! Then I remembered I still had the potion, and was about to use it when one of the frogs grabbed it with its tongue. Guess I'm gonna have to do this the old-fashioned way. Using my wall-crawling abilities and spider jumps, I dodged attacks from the frogs and gave them some damage. It looked like my attacks were superpowered with fire strength now. Soon, all the frogs were defeated, though I could swear I missed one. Now it's just you and me, Lizard King.
So be it.
He charged toward me with lightning-fast speed, giving me strong blows that did cause some damage.
You should not have fought against me, Spider. I am the Lizard King.
Oh yeah? And how do you taste?
What?
Just then, the last frog I thought I missed shot his tongue out, grabbed the Lizard King by the tail, and sucked him into his mouth.
No!
I became hesitant because I didn't know how the frog was going to respond. Hey, you're that frog I fought with earlier. I'm sorry for hurting you. Truce? The frog just looked at me, then suddenly spat up the Lizard King's crown. He croaked, then proceeded to hop away. Well, I guess that means truce. On day 100, I returned to the base to see everyone there, waiting for me. I told them all about what happened with the Lizard King.
Wow, I didn't even know frogs could eat lizards.
Neither did I. Guess you learn something new every day.
Zozo, I'm glad you've returned.
Yeah, dude. The Lizard King is defeated. Now we're free.
This would not have been possible without you, Zozo. Thank you, from all of us. Now we can go back to living our lives in peace.
And now we have a new home for spiders of all walks of life. Then there came a commotion at the gate. What's going on over there? Suddenly, a loud croak could be heard.
Frog!
No, wait, I think I know him. Turns out it was the frog from earlier, come by to say hello. I'm glad you could come by. Just one rule, no eating anybody. The frog agreed and I proceeded to introduce him to everyone. This had been quite the adventure. On day 1, I spawned in as an ice spider, an arachnid as cold as the Arctic reaches. All 8 of my legs are here, but why am I so little? I'm only a baby spider. That's when I realized that I was trapped inside of a magic circle. An evil-looking necromancer stood on the outside, casting a terrible spell.
A spider of ice, it will suffice. So says me, Necromancer Bryce.
Lights swirled all around me, and the entire world shook. But when it stopped, I felt like I was able to move. Great! I better get out of here while I can. I tried to scurry away, but Bryce the necromancer blocked my path.
Not so fast there, ice spider. Your part to play is done, so now I'll destroy you and complete the spell.
Hey, I have a name, you know. It's Zozo, and I don't like it when people say they're going to destroy me.
Oh, it's nothing personal. That magic spell I just cast is going to destroy the entire world 100 days from now.
What? The entire world? You do realize that doesn't make it better, right?
But it does make it destroyed. The ritual also says that I should sacrifice the ice spider used in the spell for best results.
Well, it's not going to be this ice spider. I'm leaving, and while I'm at it, I'm gonna find a way to counteract your spell. I bolted for it as fast as my 8 legs could carry. Instead of chasing after me, the necromancer Bryce just laughed wickedly to himself.
Easier said than done, my arachnid friend. The world's destruction is close at hand.
On day 2, I managed to get far enough away from the necromancer Bryce that I could take it easy. I looked around in wonder at the glowing ancient forest around me. I also noticed that I had 10 hearts and that my hunger gauge was lowering fast. It looks like running for my life from a destruction-happy evil necromancer really works up an appetite. I searched around until I found a tree that had apples in it for me to take. Then I ate the apples until my hunger meter was full again. Surviving all alone in this world as a baby spider isn't so bad. I'm really getting the hang of it. I wasn't alone for long though, as I saw a couple of skeleton vanguards appear out from between the trees.
There you are, Ice Spider. We shall get rid of you for our master, the necromancer Bryce.
He must really want to sacrifice me if he's sending skeletons to do his bidding. I tried to fend off the skeleton vanguards, but my spider bites didn't have much of an effect on creatures made of bone.
Give up, Spider. The world is doomed, and your sacrifice will seal its fate.
The mobs kept attacking, bringing me down to my last few hearts. I thought I was doomed. But then, an energy blast distracted the skeleton vanguards and made them run away. Out of nowhere, an illusioner appeared. I realized immediately that they must have been the one who cast the spell.
Follow me, little ice spider. I'll take you to my camp. We'll be safer there.
You saved my life, so I guess I can trust you. On day 3, the illusioner took me to his campsite and cast a protective illusion barrier around both of us so that the mobs wouldn't find us. You're pretty good at casting spells, illusioner.
Please, call me Alan. Illusioner Alan.
Okay, Alan, you're pretty good at casting spells.
Thank you for saying that, but unfortunately, there are mages far more powerful than me in the world, and some of them are using their gifts for evil.
You mean like Necromancer Bryce? Is it true that his spell will end the world?
Not if we good mages have anything to say about it.
Soon after, another mage arrived at the campfire. This one was a wind caller with the power to, well, call wind.
I'm Wind Caller Windy. I'm here to see the ice spider.
That's me. I'm Ice Spider Zozo.
Oh, the winds are truly blowing in our favor. You, my amicable arachnid, might be the key to saving the entire world from destruction. Necromancer Bryce's ritual can be stopped by a more powerful spell as long as he doesn't sacrifice an ice spider.
So as long as I'm alive, there's a chance that you mages will be able to stop him.
We'll need your help too. We can battle his henchmen and travel to places which would be too dangerous for us.
You can count on me. I might still be a baby spider, but I won't let the entire world down. From day 4 to day 5, I began to make use of the trees around me to gather wood for a wooden pickaxe. Because my starting area was a forest, it didn't take long to have enough to craft the tool. But wood wouldn't be good for long if I could do better. I mined into the ground with my wooden pickaxe for some stone and quickly upgraded to a stone pickaxe. With the new and improved stone tool, I was able to gather even more stone to use for building and crafting. First, I made a stone sword to defend myself with. Next, I started building a strong shelter where I could stay safe from Necromancer Bryce and his undead minions. Illusioner Alan had chosen to come with me. His illusion spells would help keep me safe while I built the base. Thanks for all your help so far, Alan.
Remember, Zozo, do not rely on magic. It cannot keep every mob away.
I soon understood what he meant when a skeleton appeared and interrupted my building. Good thing I crafted that stone sword. I drew my weapon and brought down the skeleton with a cup of wax. My victory against the skeleton made me stronger and more experienced, and because of that, I grew out of my baby mode into a regular-sized ice spider with 30 hearts. I can shoot ice blasts now. That is more like it. From day 6 to day 8, I was out exploring in the nearby gravelly mountains when I saw a friendly gorilla being attacked by a slime ball.
Get away from me, you slime ball!
The slime ball didn't answer. It just bounced and got slime everywhere. You may be slimy, but this ice spider isn't so helpless anymore. I hit the slime ball with my stone sword over and over. It did a good amount of damage, but I was taking damage the longer I stayed in contact with the slime ball. I retreated back to a safe distance and shot the slime ball with an ice blast. It froze the mob solid, so I was able to get in a few more hits with my stone sword while it was immobilized. I repeated this 2 or 3 times with more ice blasts until the slime ball was defeated. Once the battle was over, the gorilla cheered and ran up to greet me.
Brr, I was cold just watching that, but I'm glad you're on my side.
Of course. I, Ice Spider Zozo, am all about saving others.
You're definitely the nicest ice mob I've met. Say, do you think you could talk to the other one I know and tell him to stop trying to freeze me?
Sure thing. I'll let him know that's not nice.
He's just over here in another part of the mountains.
From day 9 to day 10, the gorilla showed me to the lair of the Icy Creeper, a powerful ice mob that seemed to like to cause trouble. Gorilla seemed worried for me. That's how I knew Icy Creeper would be trouble.
Are you sure you could duck him out of being mean, Zozo?
I can certainly try. I left Gorilla behind and approached the Icy Creeper. His attention was on me immediately, but he didn't speak. It looked like I would need to talk first. Hey, I'm Ice Spider Zozo. I heard you've been trying to freeze the gorilla, and they'd like you to stop.
Well, that's very nice, but I'm not gonna. I'll freeze anyone I want.
That's so rude. What did the gorilla ever do to you?
Nothing, but this is a cold world, and I'm one cold, tough customer. If that gorilla doesn't like it, he can go to another mountain.
Don't make me fight you, Icy Creeper.
I'd like to see you try.
I fired my ice blast at the Icy Creeper, but it seemed like he was even colder than me because it barely did any damage. His own ice blast took off a bunch of my hearts. In a battle between ice creatures, I was definitely the loser for now. I ran back to the gorilla, sad that I couldn't defeat the Icy Creeper. I promised Gorilla that I'd let him stay in my base for now and come back to the gravelly mountains to defeat Icy Creeper at a later time. From day 11 to day 12, I returned to my base and began renovating the living space so that the gorilla had a place to live. I used a lot of stone bricks so it wouldn't be too different from the mountain he had left behind. Once I had built the room, I went to see the gorilla and showed him where he could stay.
Thanks for letting me stay here, Zozo. I thought you could use some more storage space, so I did a bit of building on my own.
It turned out that the gorilla really had built a room that was perfect for storing extra items. He also built a furnace that would heat up the room where he and the mages would be staying. Oh yeah, I guess you guys need to stay warm. Either way, that's very impressive work.
I call it the home away from home. Oh, I hope I get to see the mountains again before the world ends.
It's not going to end. I'll stop it.
I hope so. That necromancer Bryce has been plotting world destruction for a long time, actually. He's tried all sorts of spells to do it, and they've never worked. This one might, though, and the idea of that is really scary.
It did sound scary, and I wasted no time getting better materials to help defend myself in case Bryce showed up. Down in the mining area of the base, I went digging for some iron to upgrade my tools. I found some iron ore, which I smelted into iron ingots, then crafted into an iron pickaxe and an iron sword. Back on the surface, I tamed some sheep from the nearby glowing ancient forest and built a farm for them. If that furnace fails, there's always wool sweaters. From day 13 to day 15, I sought out Illusioner Alan for some more advice on how to complete Necromancer Bryce's challenge. I want to save the world as soon as I can, Alan. Is the spell ready yet?
If only magic were that simple, Zozo. The truth is that Bryce's destruction spell is linked to you now. The only way to weaken it is for you to become stronger.
How do I do that?
When you defeated Bryce's skeleton henchman before, some of the spell's magic transferred into you. If you could defeat a more powerful one, it could happen again.
I went back to the gravelly mountains in the hopes of finding another undead mob to fight. Come and get me! I don't fear you, skeletons! As if answering my call to battle, a skeleton vanguard came charging across the mountain terrain towards me.
Spider of Ice! Spider of Ice! The time has come for sacrifice!
I hit the advancing skeleton vanguard with an ice blast, which slowed the undead down. I was able to hit him with another before he got into melee range. Time to get a taste of my new weapon.
At that point, I brought out my iron sword and slashed the skeleton vanguard with some powerful hits. The skeleton vanguard crumbled and dropped a health potion to boot. This potion must contain some more of Bryce's magic. I drank the potion and felt my power increase dramatically. My number of hearts doubled and became 60, and I gained the magical ability to turn invisible like see-through ice. From day 16 to day 19, I continued my exploration into a brand new part of the world that I'd never seen before, the Great Lake Isles. As I crawled around this breathtaking new biome, I came across an abandoned book that contained information about the destruction spell that Necromancer Bryce had cast. A spell of destruction cast by a Necromancer must be confirmed with the sacrifice of an ice spider. For this reason, an ice spider that survives the casting of the spell can prevent the destruction of the world by being at the center of a spell of life, which is made to protect the world. I wasn't sure exactly what that meant, but it sounded like there was a way to turn the tide of destruction. I excitedly began to leave the Great Lake Isles when some more skeleton vanguards ambushed me to try and get me to be sacrificed.
Spider of ice, spider of ice, the time has come for...
Yeah, sacrifice. You creeps must have followed me from the mountains. I used my iron sword and I pelted the mobs with ice blasts until they were all destroyed. From day 20 to day 22, I realized that my powers were far stronger now that I had grown into a bigger ice spider. I tested my mettle against some specters in the glowing ancient forest, chopping them down with my iron sword. They weren't that difficult to defeat, but the fact that they were here meant that bad omens were on the horizon. Dead becoming more common could be a sign of world destruction being on its way. I did some more mining for iron in the base cavern and grabbed enough ore to make the ingots for an iron chestplate. Now that I'm this much stronger, I bet I could stand up to the Icy Creeper. I returned to the Icy Creeper's lair in the gravelly mountains to confront the mob with my new abilities and gear.
Have you learned how cold the world is yet, Zozo?
No, I have learned that the world has good people in it that don't deserve to be frozen or destroyed. I fired my icy blast at the Icy Creeper, and this time, I was the one dealing damage. I had become a colder, more powerful being. Never freeze the gorilla or anyone else ever again.
All right, Zozo, I give. I'll be nice.
The Icy Creeper ran away, never to be mean again and never to be seen again. Upon driving away from that other ice mob, I saw a flashback to Bryce as a younger necromancer, just learning his first spells.
The world is a cold and cruel place. I know. I'll destroy it so nobody has to live in a cold, cruel world.
Guess he was similar to the Icy Creeper in a couple of ways. If only he knew that the world wasn't as cold and cruel as he thought it was. From day 23 to day 26, I returned to the base, feeling victorious. I made a beeline for the gorilla to give him the good news. I taught that Icy Creeper a lesson he won't forget anytime soon. I promise you that you won't be having any trouble with him now.
Wow, you are one heroic ice spider, Zozo. I'm really checking my prejudices right now. Also, I made you a gift. In case you didn't notice it on the way in, I made a perimeter wall to defend the base.
Somehow, I totally had missed the perimeter wall. It was awesome, and would do a great job at repelling the roving hordes of the undead. The base is well defended. Maybe now it's time to make sure my body is better defended. I went back to the mining cavern and collected up some more iron ore that I then took back to my base and smelted into iron ingots. I used these to make the rest of my armor set. You may not be able to see the armor on me, but believe me, it's there. From day 27 to day 31, I returned to the Great Lake Isles, wanting to make sure that I'd wiped out the Skeleton Vanguard Scourge completely. The more territory I can take back from the Necromancer Bryce, the less power and resources he has to complete his dark ritual. And it seems like my earlier work had paid off, because I couldn't see a Skeleton Vanguard anywhere. Instead, what I found was a large and smart-looking golem.
Hello there, good sir. Say, I've heard quite a bit about a certain ice spider lately. Your name wouldn't happen to be Zozo, would it?
That depends. What would you do if I was Zozo?
I'd congratulate you. I'm the librarian Golem. I travel across the overworld, giving books to those who need them. And the skeleton vanguards working for that blasted necromancer had gotten in the way of my very important mission for far too long. If you are Zozo, then you are responsible for many needy people getting the books they so crave.
Well, in that case, I am Zozo. Why don't you come back to my base with me? You seem like you'd be a valuable ally.
Of course, as long as there's a place where I can read.
I returned to my base with the librarian golem and constructed a new room for him to sleep in. After completing it, I realized how dull and drab the base looked. It needed a personal touch. I harvested some wool from my sheep farm and turned them into a bunch of cool banners that I hung up around the different buildings of my base. Looking snazzy! But my joy was short-lived as Illusioner Alan ran in with frantic news.
Zozo, you need to come with me immediately. Windcaller Wendy is under attack.
From day 32 to day 35, Illusioner Alan and I ran as fast as we could to reach the campfire in the glowing ancient forest where the Windcaller liked to hang out. But by the time we arrived, it was already too late. A vicious gang of skeleton vanguards had already outnumbered and destroyed him. No!
We serve our master well. Everyone who attempts to defend you will be destroyed, Zozo. Nobody will stand in the way of your sacrifice. We will destroy this entire world.
Not if I have anything to say about it! Powered by pure rage, I went in there with all my weapons and powers and wiped out every single one of the skeleton vanguards. In the end, all that was left was myself and Illusioner Alan.
This is bad, Zozo. The Windcaller was a powerful mage and an asset to our operation. Now that she is gone, the danger grows significantly.
But we can't give up, Alan. If we give up, then nobody will stop Necromancer Bryce. We need to fight back against him with everything we have. From day 36 to day 39, I went out to the Gravelly Mountains to wander around and collect my thoughts. I was afraid about everything that had happened, but I couldn't show it in front of everyone who was working for me. Necromancer Bryce and his men are way more dangerous than I thought. My thoughts were interrupted when I ran into an incredibly strange creature, a melon golem, which I didn't even know was a thing.
What? You never see a melon golem before? You don't like melons or something?
No, I love melons. I've just never seen a melon golem before. I'm sorry if I've upset you. If you have a favor you need doing, I'd be happy to see to it and give you a hand.
Well, now that you mention it, there was an obsidian golem who was giving me some real trouble. Would you mind taking care of him before he hurts me or anyone else?
Of course, I'll get right to it. I turned on my invisibility powers and used it to search through the Gravelly Mountains until I discovered the obsidian golem. I used the element of surprise and approached him from behind, attacking him with everything I had. In the end, I managed to defeat him after a tough battle. Then I returned to the melon golem and told him that his bully was gone.
Hey, that's great news! I used to be able to trust the other golems, but a lot of them defected to the Necromancer Bryce, because most of them are hardy enough to survive the cold.
So some golems are working with the Necromancer now? That's not good news.
You point out the obvious a lot, you know.
From day 40 to day 43, I returned back to my base, pleasantly surprised by some improvements that Illusioner Alan had made to the base.
Zozo, I've made very good friends with the librarian golem. He's a wonderful chap, and we've been doing lots of discussions around the arcane arts. So I installed a sizable collection of bookshelves and couches so he can really enjoy himself here.
It's incredibly wholesome that you two have become such good friends.
And he's not the only friend I'd like to stay here. I improved the base by adding a barracks, so I could invite more of my Illusioner friends. The more mages we have at the base, the easier it will be to defend you from the Necromancer.
That sounds like a good idea to me, Alan. Not long after, a small group of other Illusioners arrived, and I greeted them, then escorted them to their rooms. Not long after, the librarian golem approached me with a new quest.
Zozo! As you may have heard on the grapevine, or perhaps the melon vine, some golems defected from the overworld and joined up with that dastardly necromancer. Two in particular are the Endstone Golem and the Netherite Golem out in the Great Lake Isles. Perhaps, if you're able to defeat him, it will weaken the necromancer's power in another territory.
That's an awesome idea, librarian golem. I'll set off immediately. From day 44 to day 49, I set off into the Great Lake Isles to find one of the evil golems that had been working for Necromancer Bryce. I want to reduce the power of the Necromancer's spell in whatever way that I can. I thought I saw the glow of magic from one of the islands and made a stealthy approach. To my surprise, it wasn't an Endstone Golem at all, but Necromancer Bryce himself. He was muttering something, so I got closer to hear what it was.
This pathetic world does not deserve mercy. It only deserves cold destruction, and my spell will be that destruction. Soon, the hastening will be upon us.
Couldn't let him stand there and say such terrible things. Take that back, you dastardly necromancer!
Oh, it's you. You're the ice spider that dares to defy me. It seems my undead have thus far been unable to sacrifice you.
Why do you need to sacrifice me so badly anyway? What's in it for you if the entire world is destroyed?
Destroying the entire world is a thankless job, but somebody has to do it. Anyway, I've got a brand new caliber of minion now. Prepare to meet my netherite golem.
The necromancer Bryce vanished into a cloud of magical smoke, and in his place, a netherite golem rose to its full towering height.
Greetings. I am the netherite golem, and I will be sacrificing today.
The other golems told me that baddies like you were bad news. Put up your big netherite dukes, and let's have a good clean fight, said the spider to the golem. I ice blasted my opponent and scurried around, avoiding his attacks. I used my invisibility to sneak in close and attack with my iron sword. The netherite golem was very strong, and he managed to hit me a couple times, dealing many hearts of damage. But I had hearts to spare now, and this fight was far from over. From day 50 to day 53, we briefly stopped to talk.
You're going to be sacrificed, ice spider. I'm going to crack you like ice, and then squash you like a spider.
Oh yeah? Well, you're a netherite golem, and, never mind, I can't think of anything. I fired off a couple of ice blasts, then I used my iron sword to hit the netherite golem. With one more ice blast, I froze the netherite golem and brought the fight to a close with a sword strike. Netherite golem dispersed, leaving behind some mystical diamonds, which were stronger than any material I had gathered thus far. I better hang on to these so I can make a powerful tool out of these diamonds later. With the netherite golem defeated, I felt some of Necromancer Bryce's magic leaving the Great Lake Isles. From day 54 to day 57, I found the other evil golem that had chosen to serve Necromancer Bryce, the Endstone Golem, the exact golem that the library golem had sent me out to fight. This mean Endstone fighting machine was just as tough as the netherite golem I had fought before, so I knew I had to use similar strategies to take it down. Ice Spider Zozo, Golem Slayer! My invisibility proved to be a great way of avoiding attacks, and a mixture of Ice Blast and Iron Sword attacks sealed the deal! Both of the Golem defectors have been defeated now. I can feel the Great Lake Isles are peaceful now. I returned to my base in the glowing ancient forest so that I could tell the tale of my victory to the library golem.
Well done, Ice Spider Zozo. Without his golems, Necromancer Bryce has lost a major facet of his evil forces. The destruction of the entire world is that much closer to being avoided.
I'm just doing my part to stop the spell.
In anticipation of your return, I did some research into the original spellbooks that contain the destruction spell. It says that the ice spider needed for the spell must come from the Ice Spikes biome. Have you ever been there before, Zozo?
Not that I can recall, but if it's my homeland, maybe I can learn something more about the spell by going there someday. From day 58 to day 62, I used the mystical diamonds that had been dropped by the netherite golem to make myself a diamond sword. Once crafted, the librarian gave me a Frostwalker enchantment book to enchant my new diamond sword with frost. What a neat enchantment, and very fitting for an ice spider. I guess magic comes naturally to me. Because of my new sword, I was inspired to seek out more diamonds down in the mine. Using my iron pickaxe, I dredged up a few more diamonds and made myself a diamond pickaxe. I decided that was enough mining for now, and I came back to see that the living area looked much nicer, and there was even a brand new fireplace. Illusioner Alan was standing by the fireplace, feeling its warmth. It looks amazing here. Is this an illusion?
I'm always telling you, Zozo, magic can't do everything. These changes to the base are 100% real.
Wow, thanks, Alan.
Building this base was such a great idea. I really like living here, so I'm glad I could make it better for everyone.
From day 63 to day 66, I was doing some more diamond mining when the gorilla who lives in my base came to visit me.
Hey, Zozo! The librarian golem told me that you're originally from the Ice Spikes. I actually know how to get there.
You do? Well, that's great. I have been meaning to take a trip out there at some point.
I'll give you the directions. Maybe you'll find out if you've got any family out there.
Following the gorilla's directions, I made my way to the ice spikes. I didn't see any ice spiders, but maybe I would meet a friendly face if I looked around. But the first face I saw didn't appear to be that friendly. It was a mountaineer with a wicked gleam in his eyes. I'm warning you, buddy. You don't want to mess with this ice spider. I have the home field advantage.
I don't want to fight you. This gleam in my eye is the gleam of adventure. I'm Mountaineer Monty, and I'm looking to climb the tallest peak in the Ice Spikes.
The tallest peak? I bet I could see everything from up there. Count me in.
Perfect! With an ice spider helping me up, I'll be able to get to the top of the tallest peak in no time.
From day 67 to day 70, I joined Mountaineer Monty, and we both climbed around on the ice spikes together, searching for the tallest peak. How will we know if the ice spike that we're climbing is the tallest or not, Monty?
We won't know until we get to the top. Keep on crawling on these walls, Ice Spider.
We went higher and higher until we found a ledge on the side of an even taller peak. Could this be the one? That's when a leap leaf jumped down from the upper ledges and started to attack. I fired an ice blast at the mob, but it dodged away. This leap leaf was faster than I expected, so I'd have to outsmart it. I turned invisible and waited for the leap leaf to land on the ground. I dashed in and hit it with my diamond sword, dealing a bunch of damage. The moment it jumped, I fired an ice blast directly at it, defeating it for good. Mountaineer Monty was impressed with my win.
That was great! And also leap leaves only live on the tallest peak, so we must be there.
Let's keep on climbing so we can find out. Within a few minutes, we had risen to the top of the entire Ice Spikes biome. This was the most beautiful thing I had ever seen in all my days as an ice spider.
Thank you for being here with me.
Down below, I saw what looked like the lair of a necromancer, a wicked and terrible base. Necromancer Bryce must be here in the Ice Spikes. Did he find me here? From day 71 to day 74, I descended the peak of the tallest mountain and began to travel through the ice spikes in the direction of the evil lair. I never expected my history with Bryce would go back so far. I need to find out why his lair is here, what happened to the other ice spiders, and of course, how I can save the world from destruction. And if you want to help me save the world, remember to search Zozo to find more of my adventures. Make sure to tell me what you want me to play as next. Down at the base of the mountain, I wandered through a snowy blizzard, only to be confronted by Necromancer Bryce.
You've returned home, Ice Spider Zozo, but it's not your home anymore. It's my home, and soon there will be nobody home in the entire world.
Your destruction spell will never work, Bryce. Not as long as I survive without being sacrificed. I drew my sword and turned invisible, waiting for an opportunity to strike. Necromancer Bryce only laughed. He was not threatened by me at all.
Foolish Zozo! You don't understand what it means that I am here in the Ice Spikes. It means that I've already sacrificed another ice spider. My spell is secure.
I froze in place, not from the cold, but from the shock of what Bryce had said. No, you already sacrificed an ice spider, you evil monster! Bryce turned toward the spell and blasted me with a powerful spell that took off almost all of my heart. He was about to fire off another, so I ran away as fast as I could. From day 75 to day 78, I scurried back to the base and immediately shut myself away in the coldest room of the base. I had failed. The whole point of going to the Ice Spikes was to learn more about my origin. But now, I had learned something that made me feel completely hopeless. The entire world really was going to be destroyed, and there was nothing I could do to stop it.
Never say never, Zozo.
It was the librarian golem. They had come to visit me in my time of regret. But all of the other ice spiders are gone. Necromancer Bryce sacrificed them.
I don't think that's exactly what has happened, Zozo. Bryce was trying to catch you off guard so he could sacrifice you. He still needs you for his place, and when he comes for you, we'll be ready.
The librarian golem showed me a watchtower that had been installed on the base. It would be an ideal countermeasure to any intruding undead sent by Bryce. Thanks, library golem. And you're right, the world isn't doomed yet. Later on, I consulted Illusioner Alan to see what magical spells he had been working on during my travels.
Zozo, I have used all of my magic to create this Kaitha. It is a weapon that will make you unstoppable in battle.
Thank you. That's exactly what I need. The moment I took the Kyther, I felt a great surge of power within me. I grew into the ultimate ice spider, the true king of the ice spikes. I had 100 hearts and the ability to warp short distances, combining that ability with my invisibility to really catch enemies off guard. From day 79 to day 84, I made my way back to the Ice Spikes, trusting that the transformation brought on by Illusioner Alan's spell would give me the ultimate power, and that the library golem wasn't wrong about there being more to learn about my past. In my mighty ice spider form, nothing in the Ice Spikes could rival my strength. Some specters tried to swoop down and challenge me, but I effortlessly destroyed them with my ice blasts. I traveled some more through the cold biome of the Ice Spikes, eventually finding an Iceologer native to this region. Hello there, Iceologer.
Please, call me Iceologer Ike. It's quite nice to meet a spider of ice. There used to be a lot more of you protecting the Ice Spikes.
So I've heard. That was before the necromancer sacrificed them.
Oh, there was no sacrifice. Your ancestors fought against him bravely, down to the last spider. I kept one of their helmets too. You should have it.
Ike gave me a diamond helmet, which I proudly equipped. I guess there really was more to the story than I thought. From day 85 to day 89, my base was attacked by the skeleton vanguard. I arrived just in time to fend them off with weapons and ice blasts.
Spider of ice, the time has come for sacrifice.
Ha! That confirms it! You still need a sacrifice! And I'm the last spider standing! You'll never take me out! With the confidence I had developed in my ultimate ice spider form, I demolished the skeleton vanguard one by one, until the last of them went running back to the ice spikes.
Spider of Ice, your sacrifice will now be done by Necromancer Bryce!
I'd like to see him try. I chased the skeleton vanguard to the edge of my base, where he kept running onward. It was there that I met a fungus thrower, who was standing next to a dugout pool of water.
Oh, please, Ice Spider Zozo! My swimming pool is way too warm! Can you provide an ice blast to cool it off?
Why, certainly, my fungus-throwing friend. I shot the pool with an ice blast, freezing it over. Oops, sorry, now it's more of an ice rink.
No, I like this better. I'll call my friends and we'll play some hockey.
From day 90 to day 94, I followed the skeleton vanguard through the ice spikes all the way to the necropolis where Necromancer Bryce would be waiting for me.
Bryce, we need your advice!
As the skeleton vanguard approached the necropolis, it was obliterated by an attack from an armored pillager.
Never send a skeleton to do my job.
And what is your job?
Killing spiders by the dozen. Me and the rest of my pillager crew fought the ice spiders in this area back when they dared to defy Necromancer Bryce.
You mean that it was you who wiped out all the rest of the ice spiders, and you're working for Bryce? I'm going to freeze on you! I fired several ice blasts, but the armored pillager tanked them all and hit me with the same powerful attack they'd used to destroy the skeleton vanguard. It dealt a decent amount of damage, so I warped away to avoid taking more.
I faced many ice spiders just as big as you.
But you've never faced me! Gathering my courage, I warped back and swung my diamond sword into the armored pillager, returning the damage I took and then some. From day 95 to day 97, the armored pillager still wouldn't let up, and I was starting to see that his claims of taking down all the other ice spiders wasn't all talk. My ice blasts weren't very effective, so I mostly relied on my sword strikes to deal damage. My warp and invisibility powers helped me dodge most of the armored pillager's attacks so that I could hold on to my hearts.
Why can't you let me crush you like those other worthless ice spiders?
It's time you learned that those lives you trampled were never worthless. I warped all around the armored pillager and barraged him with sword attacks until he collapsed at long last.
Darn it, you have beaten me. Truth is, you spiders fought very well. I was the only survivor among the pillagers.
If you lost everyone too, why are you being such a mean guy about it? We could have talked this out.
Necromancer Bryce was going to destroy the world anyway. We thought we had to listen to him, or he'd destroy us first. That Bryce is ruthless beyond anything you've seen. After he hired us pillagers to wipe out the spiders, he had them save one remaining ice spider egg, so that he could use the ice spider that hatched for his destruction spell. That ice spider must have been you.
The armored pillager died, leaving behind a key to the lair. At that moment, I realized I had avenged my people. Well, almost. Bryce stole me away, planned to use me for his spell, and destroy the world I've only now come to know. I will stop him! On day 98, I returned to the base to heal my injuries from the battle with the armored pillager. So much had happened since I started my journey, and we were only a couple days from the day that the destruction spell would end the world. But the words that carried me all this way still rang in my ears. As long as I survive, it isn't over. I spoke to the librarian golem, who was also hopeful about our chances of stopping the destruction spell.
No sacrifice was made, and if you defeat Bryce, he'll never be able to cast another destruction spell. This could be your chance to save the entire world.
I will do it, for the world and for all the ice spiders that fought bravely against him. I wanted to make sure the powers of my magically induced final form were stable, so I went to Illusioner Alan to confirm. Your magical Kyther seems to be working, Alan.
Oh, Zozo, what have I always said? Magic can't do everything. You took that form on your own. My great illusion was convincing you that my weapon was the reason.
Wow, I didn't expect that. You truly are a skilled illusioner, Alan. But I didn't leave the base without any new gear. The gorilla made sure I had full diamond armor for the battle with Necromancer Bryce.
You're a hero, Ice Spider Zozo. I really wish I could have met more ice spiders.
As long as there's a world, there's a way. I'll make sure the world is safe after I stop Bryce.
Go get that evil creep. Remember the path I showed you through the Gravelly Mountains.
On day 99, I was traveling through the Gravelly Mountains toward the ice spikes on my way to the showdown with Necromancer Bryce. I was intercepted by a whole bunch of skeleton vanguards, who seemed really eager to sacrifice me as always. Bryce really rolled out the welcome mat early, huh?
Spider of Ice, must we say it thrice? It has to be time for your sacrifice.
Even though my strength, my hearts, my gear, and my magic all surpassed theirs, the skeleton vanguards descended on me in great numbers. They're slowing me down. I won't be able to reach Bryce by the day of destruction. I had to retreat as quickly as I could. That's when I ran into the Mountaineer, and he wanted to fight those nasty skeletons for me so I could take down the big boss who started it all.
Go on now, Ice Spider! We climbed the tallest peak together. Now face your greatest challenge with pride!
On day 100, I used the key to the lair and entered the inner sanctum of Necromancer Bryce.
The day of destruction is at hand, and here you are, allowing yourself to be sacrificed.
There will be no sacrifice and no destruction. We traded a series of blasts, his Necromancy Blast and my Ice Blast. We each took a bit of damage, then I turned invisible. You crushed my people, but I'm taking back the Ice Spikes and the entire world from your evil.
You would fight to protect a world that took away your family?
The world didn't do that, Necromancer Bryce. That was you! I reappeared and attacked his blind spot with my diamond sword. He began charging up his most powerful spell yet. It was the same spell he almost defeated me with the last time we fought. Necromancer Bryce let the spell of doom fly at me. I waited until the very last second, then I used my warp ability to move out of the way and appear right behind him. You missed me, and now it's over for you. I swung my diamond sword repeatedly with all my might, destroying the Necromancer before he could destroy anything else. This world would live on, and so would I. On day 1, I spawned into the Badlands as a slippery, fiery fire eel. I'm one spicy unagi, but I wouldn't be very filling. I'm only a baby eel, but I'm sure I could still pack a fiery punch. I breathed a jet of fire, one of my awesome fire eel starter powers. I was feeling super confident about what the next 100 days could hold. But my confidence didn't last for long, because a huge dread beast came running across the Badlands towards me. There was no way he was up to anything good. Still, I tried my best to be polite. Hey there, dread beast. I'm Zozo. It's nice to meet you. What a lovely day we're having, right?
Yes, a lovely day. Even lovelier now that I've found you, a delicious fire eel.
Wait, what? What do you mean delicious?
I am the all-devouring dread beast, Zozo. All that matters to me is finding and eating tasty things, because I'm always hungry.
Oh no.
And don't even think about slithering away, little eel. I love fast food.
But I slithered away anyway, going as fast as I could. There was no way I was going to be devoured by a dread beast on my very first day in the overworld. But I don't think that nasty dread beast is gonna quit either. I need to get strong enough to beat that monster, or I worry I'm gonna spend 100 days preparing to become its lunch. On day 2, I kept slithering until I finally found a place in the Badlands to stop and catch my breath. It's not exactly the most hospitable place to spawn. Then again, given that I'm a fire eel, it's probably better than spawning somewhere cold. And hey, at least I have 10 hearts. I realized that all that talk about eating me had, weirdly, made me kind of hungry. These will make for a perfect snack. I busted down the tree and started eating those delicious crunchy apples, feeling my hunger bar replenish. That's when I felt something that a fire eel should never want to feel, the cold. I turned and saw that it was because a ghost was floating right behind me.
Give in, Zozo. To be devoured by the mighty dread beast is your destiny.
What? You don't even have anything to do with that. You're just some random ghost. Why would you want the dread beast to eat me?
You're so foolish, Zozo. I have everything to do with it. I was a villager once, and then the dread beast ate me. I came back as a ghost, forever enslaved to his will.
That's terrifying. I'm sorry, Mr. Ghost, but there's no way I'm letting that happen to me. I turned and ran for my life in the opposite direction. That spooky ghost and his master/eater had already freaked me out enough for one day. When I came to a stop, alone in the middle of the Badlands, I was exhausted and honestly felt like crying. That's when I was approached by a surprisingly friendly Gorgon.
Hey, little buddy, you look sad. I'm Grace, Grace the Gorgon. Why don't you come with me? I can help you out.
That sounds nice. Thank you. I've had a really hard day.
Oh, don't I know it? Come with me. I'll take you to a friend of mine's place. You'll be safe there.
On day 3, Grace the Gorgon and I traveled through the Badlands until we found a small shack with a troll waiting outside. But rather than posting mean comments on the internet, he seemed happy to see us. Grace the Gorgon hung back while I approached to get acquainted with the cheerful troll.
The name's Terry. Terry the Troll. You look like you seen a ghost, fella.
I have seen a ghost, actually, and it was the ghost of one of the past victims of a giant monster that wants to eat me.
Whoa, that's heavy, man. A monster wants to eat ya. That sounds like something the Dread Beast would do.
Yes, the Dread Beast! That's the one! Is there anything I could do to stop that awful monster from eating me?
Isn't it obvious? You're gonna need to slay it. Get it before it gets you. You get me?
Slay the Dread Beast? That doesn't sound like it's gonna be easy.
Sure, it won't be easy, but is anything worth doing ever easy? Get out there, make a base, get some allies who will work with you. It'll be tough, and it'll take time, but the way I see it, little Fire Eel, it's the only way you're gonna get out of this.
Well, an eel's gotta do what an eel's gotta do. Thanks for the advice, Terry. I'm gonna try my best to get strong enough and make enough allies to defeat the Dread Beast. From day 4 to day 5, Grace the Gorgon and I went deeper into the Badlands until we found an area that looked like it'd be perfect for building a base.
But you're gonna need some tools first, Zozo. Maybe start out by gathering some wood.
Good idea, Grace. I used what little baby eel strength I had to break down a tree and collect the wood for building a wooden pickaxe. It's mining time! And then I mined into the ground, collecting enough stone to build myself a stone pickaxe and a stone sword. But I didn't stop there. I continued gathering stone until I had enough to build myself a basic base with 2 rooms. One for me and one for Grace the Gorgon.
These rooms both look awesome, Zozo.
Thank you. It wasn't easy to build them, but I'm glad I did. Out of curiosity, Grace, why did you choose to stay with me?
Because I hate bullies, and I wasn't going to leave you out there, vulnerable to the Dread Beast. We'll stick together and win this thing.
Oh, you're the best, Grace. And that moment was so heartwarming. My hearts grew twice as big. Literally, I was bigger, stronger, had 20 hearts, and I gained an awesome new ability, shooting flaming wither skulls. Ah, yeah, that's more like it. From day 6 to day 8, I ventured out to a new location, the Basalt Barrera. It's nice to take a load off and see new places. It takes my mind off the fact that a terrifying monster wants to eat me alive. Oh no, now I'm thinking about it again. But I didn't have any more time to stand around feeling anxious because the same ghost that was hassling me earlier emerged out of the trees.
Zozo, I found you.
I really wish you'd unfind me.
You still have your sense of humor. Good. You'll need that when you're a ghost. The days are dark and the nights are long. It will never end.
Actually, it's gonna end for you right now. I was sick of being chased away by monsters, so I unleashed my fire breath onto the ghost, weakening him and making him physical before finishing him off with my stone sword. Nobody's eating me. I won't allow it. My battle with the ghost must have caught the attention of a Cyclops who was wandering through the Basalt Barrera. He immediately approached me with an offer.
Name's Sid the Cyclops. I may not have great depth perception, but I can see a real strength in ya. Think you can do a job for me? I got a local freaky customer who needs attending to.
Sure, I'll give it the old Fire Eel try. From day 9 to day 10, I went out to a remote part of the Basalt Barrera with Sid the Cyclops following close behind. Who exactly do you want me to fight here, Sid?
Believe me, when you see him, you'll know.
And Sid was right. The second I saw him, I did know. It was a huge, frightening Dread Knight. I could see why Sid didn't want to take him on himself. Well, here goes nothing. I ran in and faced the Dread Knight alone.
Doth thou wish to challenge me, knave?
Oh yeah, consider yourself challenged.
'Tis a battle then.
I fought the Dread Knight, but none of my attacks seemed to do any damage. The fight seemed hopeless, and in the end, all I could do was turn and run. I met back up with Sid the Cyclops, not far from the site of the battle. I'm not strong enough to take on this Dread Knight yet, Sid, but until I am, how about you come and hang out at my base?
Sure sounds like a gas. Let's go.
From day 11 to day 12, I returned to my base with Sid the Cyclops. I got to work on building him a new room right alongside the rooms I'd built for myself and Grace. By the time I was done, Sid looked delighted.
I've always wanted a second home. This is a big deal for me. I feel like a celebrity or something.
I'm glad you like it, Sid. Be it ever so humble, there's no place like home.
Well, it's not quite as humble now. Go take a look at some upgrades I created while you were building my bedroom.
I took a look at the upgrades, and I was extremely impressed. He'd built a furnace, which would allow me to smelt ores into ingots for building weapons and armor. And he'd also built a storage room where I could store more weapons and resources. Speaking of resources, I'm hungry. I should probably find a way to keep my food supply sustainable. To that end, I started herding some chickens from the surrounding badlands and created a small farm with some coops to keep them for eggs and chicken. And now, it's time to put that furnace to good use. I searched until I found a deep cave, and inside, it didn't take me long to find a nice vein of iron ore. I mined it with my stone pickaxe until I had enough to take back. I returned to my base and smelted the ore into iron ingots. With the help of a few leftover sticks, I made myself an iron sword and an iron pickaxe. This will give me something to put in the storage room too. From day 13 to day 15, I started feeling antsy, thinking about the fact that the dread beast was out there, biding its time, waiting for the right moment to strike. I realized that I needed to get stronger, so I returned to Grace the Gorgon for some advice on what I should do next.
One of the biggest sources of the dread beast's power is the legion of ghosts created from his former meals. The more of them you can free from their bounds on the overworld, the weaker he'll be. I actually think there's another one near here at the Basalt Barrera.
Because Grace always seemed to be right, I ventured out to the Basalt Barrera, and exactly as she'd predicted, there was one of the dread beast's ghostly servants waiting for me. Looks like I have my work cut out for me here. Through a mix of my fire attacks and the work of my strong new iron sword, I was able to defeat the ghost. It even dropped a potion of strength on the ground, which I picked up and drank. Wait, I can feel something happening. Suddenly, I started to grow, getting bigger and feeling my number of hearts grow to 30. I also experienced additional damage on every single one of my attacks. Grace was right, I'm much stronger already. This really was the trip out here. From day 16 to day 19, I went out to the bayou as a test of my courage. It was dangerous to wander around there with so much water everywhere. Still, what's life without a little risk here and there? I can't be a truly powerful fire eel if I'm not brave. But this journey was more valuable than just building up my confidence. While I was slithering along, I discovered a strange old book of fairy tales and decided to give it a read. Man's hunger for wealth and power once unlocked darker and deeper hungers. Greedy miners who wanted diamonds and gold dug deeper than they should and uncovered the monstrous dread beast, a creature with a hunger to devour the whole world. Wow, so that's where the dread beast came from. I wonder what I can do with this information. But I didn't have time to ponder on this for too long because I looked up and saw another eerie ghost floating toward me out of the darkness of the bayou.
You can't escape, Zozo. I thought I could escape. I was so silly. He ate me like he ate all the others. He'll eat you too, Zozo. He'll eat you too.
I vaporized the ghost with a wither skull and then ran out of there. I didn't feel like spending any more time in the bayou that day. From day 20 to day 22, I went back into the mining cave to collect a little more iron ore before returning to my base and smelting it into iron ingots. I've got some cool weapons and tools. Now it's time to get myself some awesome armor. I made an iron chestplate, which, admittedly, you couldn't actually see on my fire eel body, but would provide me some valuable defensive abilities anyway. I'm stronger than I've ever been, but now it's time to use that strength for good. There's an old score I have to settle. I returned again to the Basalt Barrera with one thing on my mind, finally defeating the Dread Knight. When I found him again, I pulled out my sword and squared up to him.
Dost thou return to fight me, you sad little fire eel? You cannot destroy that which has already been destroyed.
What does that even mean?
Once upon a time, I was a knight, a brave and powerful knight. I battled many a monster and believed that I could also slay the dread beast. But I was wrong, terribly, terribly wrong. The dread beast devoured me, and now my soul is bound to his. I'm a shade of my former self.
Then let me free you from this terrible state, Dread Knight. I fired a wither skull at the Dread Knight, then ran in to battle him directly. With my new skills and my iron sword, I was able to hold my own against the Dread Knight and eventually destroy him. Rest well, tragic knight. I'll avenge you and all the others.
Oh, will you now?
I turned with horror to see the Dread Beast itself standing close behind me. Even with my new strength, he still looked just as frightening.
Tasty, tasty little eel. It's almost time, Zozo. I'm getting so hungry I can barely control myself.
I didn't want to stick around and see if the dread beast could keep a leash on his appetite. Instead, I just turned and ran away as quickly as I could. From day 23 to day 26, I returned to my base to tell Sid the Cyclops that I had managed to defeat the Dread Knight and free him from his torment in the process.
Zozo, how did the go, my guy?
The Dread Knight won't be bothering you anymore. I don't feel much like celebrating about it though. He was just as much a victim of the Dread Beast as me. He's really, really evil.
Evil is as evil does, I guess. What can we do about it?
We can help each other. We can fight back.
I like where your head's at, kid. But where do we start?
Should probably upgrade my gear. If I want to do that, I'd better get mining. I headed down into the mining cave to see what I could find. I managed to gather some iron ingots, and I took them back to my base and smelted them, making an iron helmet. I feel tougher already. Then Grace the Gorgon approached me.
I heard what you did for the Dread Knight. That was an amazing start. As a thank you for your hard work, I've added an improvement to the base that I believe you'll approve of. It's a security bunker, a safe place to retreat to in the event of an ambush by the Dread Beast or one of his ghostly army.
Awesome, thank you! From day 27 to day 31, I went back out to the bayou, equipped with my new helmet and a renewed sense of purpose. I was a little worried I would run into another ghost, but instead, a big friendly panda came ambling up to me.
I heard you're the guy who got rid of that ghost who was terrorizing us out in these parts. Thank you kindly for that.
Of course! Are there any more ghosts out here?
None that I've seen, but if you're offering help, I sure could use a place to stay. See, that nasty ghost critter tore my house right up. Any chance you've got a spare room? And that room is panda-sized?
Sure. Well, I don't have a room for you yet, but I can build one. Let's go back to my base and we'll get you settled in.
Thanks. By the way, my name's Patrick.
I'm Zozo.
You sure are impressive for an eel, Zozo.
Well, that's kind of reductive, but thanks anyway. Come on. Patrick the Panda followed me back to my base, and I got to work on building him a room where he could stay. When I was finished, Grace the Gorgon came to talk to me.
Zozo, Terry the Troll needs help. There's a ghost attacking his home, but I can't fight it alone. Will you come with me and help?
Of course, poor Terry. Let's head on over there right now. From day 32 to day 35, Grace the Gorgon and I traveled to the Badlands to help Terry the Troll. When we got there, Terry's shack was a mess. And I don't mean he forgot to pick up his dirty socks. I mean the whole thing had been knocked down. And Terry was nowhere to be seen. Instead, there was just a creepy ghost hovering out front.
You're too late, Zozo. Your friend has already left this life behind. Pity he died this way and not in the jaws of the mighty Dread Beast. He was not as lucky as you will be.
What do you mean? That can't be true!
But it is. One way or another, you will join us. I have heard that the Dread Beast is craving eel pie, and his hunger will soon be sated.
No, it won't. You may have taken my friend, but I'll never let you beat me. I shot a wither skull at the ghost and vaporized it. It felt good, but I was still heartbroken about Terry.
We can't let Terry's death be in vain, Zozo.
I may only be a little fire eel, but as long as I have fire breath in my body, I won't let the Dread Beast do this to anyone ever again. From day 36 to day 39, I returned to the Basalt Barrera. Now that I got rid of the Dread Knight, this place is pretty peaceful. I'd love to kick back and relax out here. Well, not kick. I don't have feet, but you get the idea. I was just about to try and squeeze in a little relaxation between quests when another ogre approached me.
Oi, your name's Zozo, isn't it? I've got a right awful bloke in me house. He just won't leave. I tried to chase him out, and he said he'd burn me to a crisp, he did.
Wow, people from the Nether sure have a funny way of talking. But I get what you mean, friend. Show me the way, and I'll do my best to help. He took me to his house, where, sure enough, a great big fire ogre was getting ready to burn the place down. Luckily, I threw a wither skull and stopped him before he could torch the Nether ogre's house. Here you go. Still just as not burnt down as it was before.
Well, Bob's your uncle. Say, you're that bloke what's looking to get rid of the Dread Beast?
I am.
Well, he's only out there in the swamplands, he is.
That's good to know. I just won't go there until I'm strong enough to fight and win. From day 40 to day 43, I traveled back home to my base. When I got there, I was surprised to find Sid the Cyclops waiting for me.
Hey there, Zozo! While you were out, I built some additional rooms.
Oh, that's amazing! I need a room for my friend here. But what made you think of that?
Well, I was hoping we could invite more guests to come stay. I know a few guys.
It turns out that very guy was Patrick the Panda, who I'd already met. The more the merrier. Here's your new room, Patrick.
Golly, it's perfect, Zozo. Say, could you do me one more favor? Could you go to the bayou and get my favorite book? I left it out there, and I've got a hankering for reading.
Sure, I'll head over there now. From day 44 to day 49, I traveled to the bayou to look for Patrick the Panda's favorite book. I probably should have asked him what it looked like, or what it was called. Oh well, I'm here now. But I wasn't the only one here. The terrifying dread beast popped out right in front of me.
Indeed you are, Zozo. Tasty eel, it's almost my supper time. Once it is, I will feast. And the prophecy foretells that once I eat a fire eel, I will reach my ultimate power and devour all that I see.
I'll never let you eat me, especially not after you said all that scary stuff.
When the time comes, you will not be able to escape.
With that, he disappeared, but I didn't get a chance to wonder where he went. In his place, he left behind a huge, mean-looking blue manticore.
Look upon your future, Zozo. If I could not defeat the Dread Beast, then surely a tiny, insignificant fire eel will not be able to. You will be devoured like the rest.
Why still work for him after what he did to you?
Fool, there is no choice. Once the Dread Beast has eaten you, there is no freedom.
That's terrible. I could tell he was the toughest opponent I'd faced so far, but if I wanted to save myself and free the blue manticore from the Dread Beast's grip, I was going to have to win! From day 50 to day 53, I continued my fight against the blue manticore. He was even stronger than he looked. I was pretty worried that I might not make it out of this one.
Just accept your fate!
Never! No one deserves that! I used all of the strength I had and fought as hard as I could. And with the help of my trusty Wither Skull, I finally managed to defeat him. But by the time I did, the Dread Beast was long gone. I was hoping to find out where exactly his base is. I know it's in a swamp, but where? Just then, I noticed something on the ground. The manticore must have dropped it. I took a closer look, and it was a map with Dread Beast Clubhouse written on it. This must be where his base is. Once I'm strong enough, I'm going straight there. From day 54 to day 57, I continued my search for Patrick the Panda's book. Finally, I came across a book lying on the ground. I went over to pick it up, but a hell ostrich leapt at me and started attacking. Hey, that's my friend's book. I need it back. The hell ostrich didn't say anything. It just kept attacking me. Okay, we don't have to chat about it, but you just have to let me take the book. With a few well-timed attacks, I was able to defeat the hell ostrich and grab the book. Sure enough, it said Panda's book on it. It also dropped something else. Netherite ingots. Maybe I can use these later. I hurried back to my base to find Patrick the Panda. Patrick, I got your book.
Thank you, Zozo. I reckon I'll never know how to repay you.
You can pay me back with your friendship, and by enjoying that book.
I also happen to have heard tell of a magic apple, one that gives anyone who eats it a massive boost of strength. Might be just what you need.
I'll keep an eye out for a magic apple then. From day 58 to day 62, I took a look around my base. This place is pretty great, but it could be even better. I wandered over to the chicken farm and had an idea. That's it. I'll expand this area so we can have even more chickens. With all of these new people staying at the base, we'll need lots of eggs. After that, I headed back into the mining cave to look for anything I could use to upgrade my gear. It took a long time, but I managed to find some diamonds. I took them back to my base and used them to craft a set of diamond armor, a diamond pickaxe, and a diamond sword. Wait until the Dread Beast gets a look at this. Good luck eating all these diamonds. Grace the Gorgon then approached with some more good news.
Zozo, come and see what I've done. I've added to the base. This is the party room, where we can all celebrate when you've bested the beast. I know you can do it.
Thanks for believing in me, Grace. From day 63 to day 66, I was hanging out at my base, practicing my dance moves in the party room when Sid the Cyclops came to see me.
Zozo, I heard that there might be some helpful materials in Birch Forest.
Where'd you hear that?
Got a tip from my materials guy.
It's good enough for your guy, it's good enough for me. I traveled to the birch forest and got to work looking for anything useful. As I searched, I spotted a maned wolf stalking her way toward me. Please don't attack me, I'm busy.
I wasn't gonna attack you. I was gonna say hi and ask you for a favor if that's okay. I'm Mallory.
Nice to meet you, I'm Zozo. What kind of favor?
My baby was kidnapped by a silver skeleton. Please help me get it back.
Of course, where did you last see him? Let's go. From day 67 to day 70, I followed the maned wolf to another part of the birch forest. There, I could see a silver skeleton. Where are you hiding the baby maned wolf?
I'll never tell. She's definitely not locked in that building over there.
Huh, I tricked you. Time to fight. I didn't give the silver skeleton any more time. I shot a wither skull at the skeleton. He attacked me in return, but my armor kept me from taking too much damage. Then it was time to test out my new diamond sword. I was able to defeat the silver skeleton with only 2 swipes. Then I opened the door to the nearby totally not suspicious building, and there was the baby wolf.
Thank you so much. I'll change her name to Zozo after you.
That's really nice, but please don't do that. A thanks is enough. From day 71 to day 74, I decided to follow the map to the cold swamplands and try to sneak a look at that dread beast hideout. While I was following the map's path, I started thinking about how much had already happened. I've had some amazing adventures so far. To find even more of my awesome antics, make sure to search Zozo. That's my name. Finally, I reached the cold swamplands. Jeez, they call it cold for a reason. This is definitely no place for a fire eel. Then, in swooped the dread beast.
You will have plenty of time to get used to it after I've had my meal and your spirit is trapped here forever.
The dread beast found me before I found him. Time to see if I'm ready to fight this guy. I shot a wither skull at him, but he tanked it with complete ease. I'll try the sword. I attacked with my sword, but he barely seemed to feel it.
Like a mere paper cut.
Uh-oh, he hit me back, and my new armor protected me from getting completely knocked down, but I knew I wouldn't last too much longer. I'm not ready to take him on. From day 75 to day 78, I ran all the way back to my base. I wish I could fight him now, but if I do that before I get stronger, I'll lose for sure. I decided to lie down in my room for a while. I want to be a hero, but I'm starting to think that, sadly, I'm only an eel. Grace the Gorgon knocked on my door, interrupting my sad thoughts.
Hey Zozo, I know you're disappointed, but I wanted to show you an addition I've made to our home here. Come and look.
I followed her all the way to a new watchtower. Oh, this is pretty cool. Thank you, Grace. I feel better. While Grace and I were admiring the watchtower and all the watching we'd be able to do up there, Patrick joined me.
Take a look at what I found.
He handed me a magic apple. Hey, this is like the one you told me about.
Not just like it, it's the same one. Try it.
I ate the apple, and I felt myself growing bigger and more powerful. My hearts increased to 60, and I gained a new attack. I could shoot a fireball. I'll show that dread beast what being a fire eel is all about. From day 79 to day 84, I traveled back to the cold swamplands. This time, if the dread beast ambushes me again, I'll be ready. I didn't spot him anywhere, but I was able to test out my new strength and my fireball on an undead scorpion that tried to sting me. Nice try, but I'm not a little fire eel that people can pick on anymore. I'm a big, strong eel that plays by my own rules. That awesome act of firepower attracted the attention of a friendly polar bear.
You sure are. I know what that's like. Well, not the being an eel part. As you can see, I'm a polar bear.
Hi. I decided to sit with the polar bear for a little while, and when I finally got up to go, he stopped me for a second.
Thanks for the company. Hey, is that netherite? Attach it to your sword, like this.
Then he crafted a netherite sword for me. Thank you, this is great! From day 85 to day 89, I said goodbye to the nice polar bear and took my new netherite sword back to my base. When I got there, I saw that someone had destroyed my new watchtower. Hey, Grace worked really hard on that. I looked around for the culprit, and I saw a ghost floating away into the Badlands. Oh, no you don't. I chased after the ghost as fast as I could. As I did, a painted kitty stopped me.
Excuse me? Could you point the way to the birch forest? I'm terribly lost.
I quickly pointed her in the right direction, then kept running after the ghost. Looks like he's running toward the cold swamplands. From day 90 to day 94, I finally managed to catch up with the ghost. He ran into the Dread Beast's hideout. I stopped just outside. I'm not ready to go in there yet, but I can wait out here and see what happens. The ghost came back out of the hideout like he was looking for me. I got a better look at him and saw that he wasn't just a ghost. He was a huge, tough-looking dread ghoul.
My. Look who took the bait. It's the main course for the coming feast.
I'm so sick of you all saying stuff like that.
Then try and stop me, if you dare.
I shot a fireball at the dread ghoul, and it barely even fazed him. Uh-oh, he's the toughest minion I've fought yet. From day 95 to day 97, I continued my battle against the dread ghoul. I really need to do my best if I'm gonna win this one. With the help of my new netherite sword, I was finally able to knock the dread ghoul down for good. His helmet fell to the floor, and I grabbed it. It was netherite. This goes great with my sword. Hey, what's this? I spotted a note on the ground. It says the Dread Beast is getting worried about me. He thinks I might be able to destroy him before he can eat me and fulfill the prophecy. This is great news. It means I'm definitely on the right track. I can't back down. I've got to get everything I possibly need before I enter the final battle. On day 98, I returned to my base. Grace the Gorgon and the rest were waiting for me. I'm really starting to think I can do this. I wasn't so sure before, but now I know everything will work out.
It will. And look, I fixed the watchtower. The Dread Beast and his ilk can't keep us down.
Yeah! Next, I spoke to Patrick the Panda.
Zozo, before you head on out of here to fight that big boss, take this. It's a potion of strength. It'll power you up good.
Thank you. This is just what I need. And finally, Sid the Cyclops.
I don't have any potions or any repairs done. Just this. I may only have one eye, but I can see a bright future ahead of you, and the rest of us too. Because you're gonna do it, kid.
Thank you. Well, no more waiting around. I've got to go see a Dread Beast about a battle. On day 99, I traveled back to the cold swamplands and the Dread Beast's hideout. When I got there, I started to get pretty worried because the whole place was crawling with ghosts. Well, they were floating, but they were everywhere. But the maned wolf from before came bounding up to me.
I can handle these ghosts. You get inside while I keep them busy.
While the maned wolf took care of the ghost, I finally entered the Dread Beast clubhouse. On day 100, I entered the Dread Beast base and found him waiting there for me.
Yes, I knew you'd be here soon. My stomach has been growling. Time to feast.
Why do you have to eat all these innocent victims? Why can't you just have some pie or a sandwich like everybody else?
Because no sandwich in this world tastes sweeter than absolute power.
What about pie? Pie's pretty sweet.
Enough talk. I'm much too hungry and I'm craving fire eel.
He lunged at me and attacked, but I was ready. I dodged him and shot back a fireball in return. It hit him, but he kept going. He rushed at me again, and this time he knocked me back. But I wasn't done yet. I used my netherite sword to get the upper hand.
Zozo, imagine it. If you join my ghostly army, then you will share in my infinite power. The world will be ours.
No thanks. I'm not taking that deal. I drank the strength potion and finally got the better of him. And with one more swipe of my sword, I destroyed the mighty, terrible Dread Beast. I did it! I saved the day! I'll say it. This eel is on fire!